All right. Are we good? Are we live, right? Yeah, are you frozen or
I think he's frozen or
no?
he's moving very slow.
Yeah,
He must be having a bad connection.
yeah. Can you
Satya,
hear
can you
us?
hear us?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
No, Satya, you're going way too slow.
Yeah,
Oh, now we dropped.
So it's just us. Do we know if we are live?
I think it looks like we are live. It's saying live streaming. I see the green spot, so we are live. So
Okay.
let's at least start talking. We have the games which were played, the weekend games, as well as some rescheduled games which were played on Sunday. So we have quite a big backlog of games to cover for the weekend as well as the previous weekend. And one of the things that was a highlight of this coming last week was the DCL T90 got concluded. Want to wish Gujarat Lions congratulations for being the first champions of DCL T90. Obviously, we are not covering that tournament, but nevertheless, it's still part of DCL. So congratulations to Maulik and the team. So I just got a confirmation we are live. So let's start off with
Yeah,
the first game.
that really helps. Knowing that we are live.
Yes. All right. The first game of the week we are going to cover is Cover Drive versus Pokries. I think this was a very one-sided game. Cover Drive winning the toss, rightly electing to bat. I think that was one thing that they did right in the entire game is win the toss and elect to bat. Otherwise, Pokries would have had a field day, scoring scoring at will. Probably looking at a tall score. But Pokries, when they bowled, they never really allowed Cover Drive to get anywhere near a tall score. So there were like I think 5 ducks. If you look at the scorecards, 5 ducks for Cover Drive, the highest score being 9, and then extras. And then one thing to highlight here, Raghu Kumar Sami got a well-deserved hat trick. He was our top bowler of this week with outstanding figures of 5 overs, 5 for 6. That basically wrapped up Cover Drive, and there was no looking back. And then in Pok, when Pokris batted, they sent a couple of newbies. Avi got a chance to bat up the order as well, but the score was small enough for them to just chase. I need to check with KK when he comes back if this was the shortest game that was recorded this year. So the game ended in at 10:15, started at 9 and finished at 10:15. So that was quick work by Pokris.
Okay. Well, Parthiv, I thought Palani Swami was absolutely crazy good, right? I mean, this is,
Yep.
I think, was it Vignesh, I think, who posted in the primetime community that this was his second hat trick? I
That's
mean, for
true.
me, getting one hat trick is ridiculous.
Right.
Two, second hat trick is crazy good. I mean, 5 overs, 2 maidens, 6 runs, 5 wickets. If KK was here, I would have asked him if these are the best stats of this year. I mean, in terms of runs to wickets, I think
Right.
somebody did take 6 wickets this season. I'm not sure who it was. I'm forgetting his name, but I remember seeing 6 wickets somebody had taken. But nevertheless, this is 5 wickets. But for the number of runs which is given, he had 26 dot balls. That means only 4 balls were scored upon. So, I mean, again,
Yeah.
you can only play the opponent who's placed in front of you. I mean, what can you do? I mean, I feel bad for the teams which are in Pokri's shoes, in the sense that what are they supposed to do? They can only play these guys. Narla was crazy good, 2.4 overs, 6 runs and 3 wickets. I mean, Vamsi always says that their scorecard looks like a phone number, and this was the phone number here was 304 900 0304. That's exactly what their batsman this thing. I see that our friend KK has joined and he's laughing at it. But yeah, by the way, KK, this is not the only phone book entry. There is another team which had another similar phone book entry. I think that one was actually, you know what? That was on the India entry, because that had like a 045, like Mumbai is 011 or something like that. Remember, in STD code in
Mm-hmm.
India. 22 is I don't know. 11 is Delhi. 22 is Mumbai. 44 I know is Chennai. 33 is probably Calcutta. But I think CDCC is having a shambolic of a
Yep.
season.
They
I just
haven't.
can't make up. I just can't make up whether CDCC is the worst team in the league or Royal Hunkars is the worst
Well,
team in the
well,
team.
I can say Royal Unkars has 1 point, so I CDCC has to be the worst team in
Yeah,
I
but
think
see,
there should be a contest. There should be a game between these
uh,
two.
there should be a game, and I would bet on CDCC to beat Royal Hunkars. I'll tell you why. Because CDCC is playing in Pool B, so when they are not getting a point, part of it is they are playing some really outstanding teams.
I want to know which team actually conceded that 1 point to Royal Hunkars.
Okay,
That for
yeah,
me is the
I,
point.
I'm sure one of our statisticians or somebody in the primetime community will give an answer to that.
Well,
But
our community, our community Vignesh did mention there was a 6 wicket haul from Alagu, I think a couple
ah,
of weeks ago.
okay.
That's the
Oh,
one I think you're
that's
talking
the
about.
one we missed, right? That is the
Yeah,
show we
that's the
missed.
1 week we missed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was one of the victims.
Oh, you
Oh,
were one
yeah.
of the victims,
Yes,
is
yes,
it?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So
All right.
you should have answered that question right away when I asked the question. But Martin Johnson said about England in 1996, they can't bat, they can't bowl, they can't field. I would say the same thing about CDCC and Royal Hunkars. They can't bat, they can't bowl, they can't field. I mean, the moment the toss was lost, I think the Pokhari's entire morning was destroyed. I feel bad. At least these teams, if they're coming into the league, if you lose the toss, give the opponent a chance to bat. I know that this thing, but you know what? You're coming here to play a game. At least show that you can get the opponent out. I don't know. That is if you want to take a challenge. But if you want to take the easy way out, yeah, you probably bat first and be done. But what did you accomplish? I mean, you wasted the entire morning for the Pokhari's players, if you ask me. But
Well,
congrats to Pokhari's and CDCC. I don't know. You guys need to raise up the level of your game. There is no other way to put it. I mean,
Yep.
sometimes you have to face the brutal truth for what it is and accept it and say that we stink and we need to put out a better product. I mean,
Yep, I think not much to talk about that game. It was a clinical win. Let's move on to the next game. Satya, you were there. I don't know if you can share the screen, but next game was Dark Horses versus Stingers. Now this was an interesting game, I thought, because both Dark Horses have been on the up. They've won a couple of games, came close to a few games, and Stingers obviously fresh out of beating a couple of great sides. And this game went almost to the wire. At one point of time, we were looking at Stingers getting beaten. I mean, Dark Horses was at the ascendancy, and then towards the end, there was a great innings by Jichin, uh, which saved Stingers. So I think even though Stingers got those 4 points, I mean, they dropped a point, but it was a very good contest. I mean, Dark Horses and Pankaj should be proud of this performance that they've able to achieve, especially now that we'll see the rankings. They definitely move up outside, the bottom five. So great performance by Dark Horses. What do you guys think?
we can't hear you, KK. You're just
You're
doing
muted.
that.
can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought Dark Horses had a very good week because in
Yep.
this game they gave a very good fight to Stingers, and the very next day they beat Sterling Strikers fair and square. I thought Pankaj would be dreaming that maybe if I have 4 or 5 weeks like this, in throughout the DCL summer, then probably he might try to get some of those glory days back, where they were somewhere in the mid of the pools. But yeah, let's come back to this game, right? Dark Horses batting first. The first commendable thing is they played all 25 overs, which for a lot of games were missing. It was missing out, but in this game they made sure they played through. Pankaj, he opened. At the start of the season, he was trying to come in the middle order, did some mistakes there with the batting order, but now he has realized that there is no better player than him in the team. So he's coming opening, and then Mohammad Nabi Mujawar, he also played well in the other game as well. These two, the partnership was very good at the very beginning, and then at the end, Srinivas, he's an all-rounder in Dark Horses team. When we played against Dark Horses, I noticed that. And Vaishakhan, I think it's probably his very early days with DCL, but they scored in the double digits. They scored 91 runs. What was missing in this game is the previous outings from Alagu or Jagan, right? Because these were taking 4, 5, 6 wickets in all those games, but in this game they both combined took only 2 wickets. That was the difference in Stinger's bowling. But when it comes to Stinger's batting, boy, I think they just escaped the big miracle, because they were 6 for 48 at break.
Yep.
And they still needed 45 runs. Thanks to Jichin, he was playing very patient innings and he got them over the line.
Yeah, Parthiv, I honestly felt that Mohammad Nabi has been batting very well for Dark Horses this season, so needed to give him a shout out, because sometimes we also need to give credit when somebody is really doing well, right? So Mohammad Nabi, Rahul Bandari, and Pankaj Watts have been batting well, and actually, if you look at the production for the entire season, you'll find that Mohammad Nabi has the amount of runs Mohammad Nabi has scored is equal to Bandari plus Watts combined together. So that good Nabi has been playing. And Dark Horses, let's look at it. 2 wins this season, right? I mean, after being winless last season, winless the season before that, you have to say it is a real improvement. They are being competitive. They are making a meal out of a game. And if you look at the rankings, you'll find that all of us have raised the Dark Horses rankings when we get to the rankings. Right. Now, granted, they might not be in the top 10, top 20, but still, they are not at 39 or whatever it was, you see. The Stingers, even in this game, Stingers is supposed to be on paper a much better team, or at least their record reflects that. But Stingers did not even get the bonus point in this game, you see. But I think I should give credit to Stingers' Ketan Joshi. If you pull up that scorecard, Satya, you'll find that they did not name him the man of the match. I have no idea what the Stingers are thinking, not naming him the man of the match. They have, what is that? Jichin Chandran was he was good, but he was not as good as Ketan Joshi. 5 overs, 9 runs, 3 wickets. And then he also scored, I think, 19 runs or 20 runs or something like that. So clearly for me, he is the undoubted man of the match, not Jichin Chandran. But think of it this way. Parthiv, you've gone to Sam's Club, you'll see Sam's Cola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you know what? On a hot day, if I go out and play cricket and come back, Sam's Cola is refreshing. But if I can get Coca-Cola, that's the real thing. You get my point? I would any day take Coca-Cola over Sam's Cola. All I can say is Jichin was Sam's Cola. This Ketan Joshi was the real Coca-Cola. Because in this game, there is no way Ketan Joshi should not be the man of the match. He should be the man of the match. Alagu. You might have taken 6 wickets, my friend, but let's get the act straight. Let's give the right man of the match. Don't say, I forgot that, or all I can say is, Alagu, what are you doing, my brother? Let's get the right man, the man of the match. Ketan, he is the man of the match. And so we'll give out all our love and shout to Ketan. He did bring home the victory for Stingers. If Stingers won, it is Ketan Joshi. Simple as that.
Yep. And it's always fun to watch these games because, there's nothing to lose for both these teams. They are out of the playoffs. So everything to gain here, and give people chances and give people more confidence. So you play with much more freedom. So it's great to see some of these games go that close. And Dark Horses, as KK was mentioning, they've come close. They've beaten Sterling Strikers. They almost gave FCC a scare. So, and they've won 2 games. So that means, they're definitely on the high. in this tournament this year. All right, let's move on to the next game. Uh, the next game was also kind of one-sided. I think it's Hawks versus Phantoms. Very one-sided game. Hawks is finally stepping up to the performances that we saw last year from them. They beat Miles last week. Now they have a very comfortable win over Phantoms, but I guess it's a little too late for them. They are not looking great in terms of playoff chances, but
Let-
they.
Let's let's hold that thought for a minute here, Panthi, because see,
Okay.
if you look at the next three games, it's Rising Stars, Thunderbolts, and Troy Hawks. Okay, if Hawks can get secure 15 points out of there, because even the last year we all wrote off Hawks, and now Hawks is currently at 22 points. If they can get to 37, I think they do have that chance.
Yep, 37 is, I think, the magical number. I think we are looking at 37 as well. When strikers are looking at 22 and plus 15.
Yeah, I think from here, bonus point plays a very important role. So
Yep.
these teams, whether it is strikers or Hawks, they need to go for the kill. They have to go for the bonus point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in terms of their grouping, they are eighth right now, so they definitely have to hope that fighters and Troy Hawks, who are at the top, will have the same fate.
True. Even fighters have those three tough games, right? Thunderbolts, Troy Hawks, and Red Devils. So, in other words, their playoff spot is in their own hands. They don't have to completely, wait for some other teams to screw up. But if they win the three games, fighters will go through. But on the other hand, when we look at Hawks, they are dependent on other teams.
Right. I mean, for the coming back to this game, I mean, Hawks, I think it was a totally dominating performance from the top order, Vikram and Sai Karan, and then towards the end as well. So they are finally kind of getting their batting together. Anything you guys noticed which was different from what I've seen? It was total domination. I don't think there was anything that Phantoms challenged Hawks really.
Yeah,
In
actually,
Gopal's world, sorry, go ahead.
no, actually, Parthiv, I happened to watch this game for some time because they were broadcasting it, and Glads were not playing. So I saw that the only other game which was being broadcast was Hawks versus Phantoms. So I actually, sat and watched some of the innings. I watched Vikram play. I watched a number of them bat around, and I thought it was a complete dominating performance. I thought it was an excellent batting performance. And actually, if you ask me, Hawks is a very good batting team. And there's a reason why I say that, because I just wrote it down. Sai Kiran, Yashwant, Vikram, Nikhil, Shashin, Arun, Shashank, they all have double-digit batting averages. That is 7 players right there. And Shashank is more like almost closer to the 20 runs batting average. You take in Naresh in 2022, in 11 innings, he scored 189 runs, which is an 18.9 batting average. This year, for whatever reason, he's coming number 11, number 10, number 9, even this one, you look at it, he came number 10. KK, do you know why this guy is coming so low down? He is a skipper. He was 189 last year, and this year you are coming at number 10 and number 11. In this game, number 10, I saw another game where he came in at 11. But any reason why this guy is coming so low down?
I do not know, but I'll ask him the next time we meet. I think we're going to meet this week.
But I have a question, Viju. You were watching this game and not watching Ashes?
Yes. I was watching this game. Yes, because that shows you how big of a fan I am in DCL.
That is true.
I'm telling you the truth. I was watching this game and not the Ashes. I was just looking at the Ashes, the scorecard. That's about it.
Even when even my team was playing and I was watching the Ashes more than strikers game.
That is why strikers are struggling to make the playoffs. It all starts at the top, my friend. This is you should be clued in, kind of a thing. But I think this team has so much batting. KK and Parthiv, it's like if you get one guy out, they are like the weed. You keep pulling weed out of your yard, and more keeps coming. These guys keep throwing one batsman after the other. I'm surprised that they are not taking a more offensive-minded approach, considering how deep their batting is. they can afford to take a little bit of chances right up front, is what I feel. But they control their own destiny. They have good batsmen, and no reason why they should not be doing it. I think the only good thing I could say about Phantoms is, it looks like Rajesh took 3 wickets, but I think they've lost a lot of talent. I think the team is well run, but when you don't have talent, I mean, if I had to, Parthiv or KK, if I had to take a team, Hawks would be a team I would like to build around. You get my point? I have the pieces there. And I can take that and add a few pieces, subtract a few pieces. I can take them to the next level. That's how I would look if I had to take that DCL universe and look around and see which are the teams where I could work with and I can achieve immediate success. Hawks would be a team. And so, again, I think that rides into the fact that last year they reached all the way up to quarterfinals. So that was not a fluke. So anyway, but I think
there is something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to add here. Because when it was off season, me and a couple of other folks, we were scouting to check which teams to join, and when we came across Hawks, we realized that we will be the oldest guys in the team, so we didn't join the team.
That's true. They are very young.
Their average is probably 28, 29.
Yep.
I think
a lot of them are bachelors. So
you Parthiv, I got the answer. KK doesn't even have to check the answer. Naresh had a fractured finger. That could be the reason, is what I have been told. So somebody texted me privately. I have no idea who it is, but
that was in May.
Huh?
That was in May, and after that, Naresh went to India and came back. I was not sure.
I'm only telling you what I got. I have to believe that the person who texted me, I don't have his name on this thing, but whoever it is, but it is Vicky. So it is Vicky who's on top of everything. So Vicky says it is. Oh no! Okay, hold on, KK. Vicky says he told me this weekend. So you have the answer right there. Vicky is more clued in than you, KK. What's going on? I thought you're the most clued in guy.
I mean,
you're now getting competition.
Well, Vicky is everywhere, right? He's amongst the prediction toppers. He's everywhere. He's in everyone's ears. He's playing in that Champions Pool in Michigan Cup. I think that's where he might have met Naresh.
All right.
He was our fellow commentator as well this week.
Yep, for the T90 finals.
Vicky and who's that? Imti and 2 other guys, whoever are leading that poll, they should be happy to know that I've insisted to Satya that from now on we need to be displaying their prediction picks on the show to make it even more livelier to see how those guys are. Because I mean, if I was a skipper and if there is somebody else who is really good at prediction, I would like to see what that guy has said about my team. You get my point? So it'll be interesting to see what these guys are predicting and how our predictions match against them. They are after all leading it. But if 1 week it doesn't show up, lay the blame on Satya. Simple as that.
All right. Next game is what I think, Viju, you have been waiting for a while.
Oh, is it? Oh, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on.
The rum. So
it's the red wine. All right. The red wine and the rum. I've been waiting for this all day long. Right?
So before I hand it over to you, I just want to basically mention, I mean, it was a game that, fairly one-sided. I think we just, rolled over SSK all the way. And SSK hasn't been much of a match all throughout the year. It's been more talking than actual anything on the field. So this was a fairly one-sided game. I mean, I wasn't there, but I wish I was there. I would have at least enjoyed the game and looking at my team winning so easily. But yeah, it was the lesser said. I would guess if it wasn't for the outside talk that was going on, we would have passed this game. We would have basically one-sided game. We would have just passed by. But yeah, I know, Biju, you have something to say.
Yeah, can you display my body of work? I mean,
yes.
First, you have to display the photo, your photo. You get my point? This was not something I created. I don't have the technical capability to do this. Somebody from the primetime community send me this photo. This is a doctored photo, but let's take a look at this photo. Who has the photo? You guys don't have the photo?
Yeah, Satya is going to share.
Can you see?
Here is the photo. That photo shows that distinctly looks like Parthiv Mehta enjoying
Zoom in.
an elixir. That elixir, by the way, is going to be called RUNE. Now, you guys, for the people who do not know why it is called RUNE, let me educate you. This was, I think this was the banter which was going on between Parthiv. Hold on. Don't show that yet, Satya, please. Let's see Parthiv's face for some time. All right, he's enjoying this RUNE. Right now, the question is, why is he enjoying this RUNE so much? There was a back and forth, a lot of banter going on in the captain's group between Parthiv Mehta and Lingappan, and eventually things got so ugly that with corruption charges were traded back and forth and all kinds of things. Eventually, our friend Lingappan said that to something which Parthiv said, that Parthiv was mixing rum and wine together. And he implored Parthiv, stop mixing rum and wine and just address the topic. All right, either drink rum or drink wine. Don't drink rum and wine together. So Parthiv then came up with this, and this weekend he went to Oklahoma, and I asked Parthiv, hey Parthiv, what are you doing this weekend, my friend? Oh, I'm going to be in Oklahoma. I'm going to be enjoying a glass of RUNE. So RUNE is nothing but rum plus wine combined together gets you RUNE. So now, after this game was so one-sided, my creative brain started working as to what could Parthiv be doing. So let's look at the next slide, Satya. Let's look at this next slide. By the way, Parthiv, I have a feeling that Lingappan is going to put a supari hit on me. So next week, if you don't show me, it means I have been assassinated.
Viju, we have game next week.
I'm more confident of Glad's taking care of SSK than a supari hit on me. Anyway, RUNE. Let's go to RUNE. I mean, RUNE is the official drink of the DCL committee. Why have RUNE? Why have rum and wine separately when you can have RUNE? Be like Parthiv and the strikers, baby. Enjoy a refreshing pint of RUNE after a relaxing game of cricket against Lingam and SSK. Don't be like Lingam. Don't be like Lingam, guys. Don't be like Lingam, who was drunk with wine and he could not bowl straight. Or be like SSK, who were drunk on rum and could not bat straight. When you can have a RUNE and play and relax like the strikers. RUNE. It is refreshment and intoxication at its best. All in one slip. All in one sip. I bet you can't stop at one sip. Party with RUNE on Friday to enjoy a victory on Saturday. Of course, there is always a statutory warning. Don't drink RUNE and drive like a loon, because it could end up in strife with your wife and it could eventually cost your life. Lingam. What is Lingam? Lingam is a vitamin best swallowed with RUNE, my friend. Happiness. Parthiv, you had a lot of happiness this weekend. The entire striker team was rejoicing on Saturday. Happiness is having a bottle of RUNE and SSK to whip on Saturday. So there you go. That was what Lingappan secured for himself by losing this game so badly. Now, if Lingappan had won this game, this whole RUNE topic would have been in a different direction altogether. Yes. But the strikers solved them, made sure that they didn't have any issues by taking care of this one-sided game, absolutely one-sided game. I think Lingappan really needs to go back and, I mean, this is not a serious note. All that was joking. On a serious note, every season, not even one season, when have they ever made the playoffs, KK? I don't think so, right?
No, never.
As far as I know, they haven't made the playoffs.
They had a chance way back when Rahul Khanna hit that century against Glad's to steal that spot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but Glad's played spoil sport and lost that game, which they expected Glad's to.
Which makes you the target, Viju.
That's true. So well, here is the thing. Rather than targeting the committee and the boardroom and all that stuff, if you had spent the same amount of effort trying to improve your team, maybe we wouldn't be talking and making all this fun right now. But then, let me tell you, Lingappan is a very funny guy. And we should thank him for being that funny, because it helps us to have fun, even though this fun is coming at his expense.
All right. That was fun. And
this game is done.
Great work, Viju. That was really well written.
Actually, Parthiv, I have a feeling all these advertisers should be hiring me,
Yes, definitely.
For catchy lines.
All right. Let's go on to the next game. Next game of the week was Detroit Bulls versus SLCC Guardians, I think. Yep. And this was even more one-sided game. I mean, I think this was probably, I don't know what's the lowest total, whether it's 14 or 16, but
No,
this is
4. It's 4. It's so
it's 4.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's 4.
Wow.
Yogi Bai's team scored 4.
Wow.
When Yogi Bai was skipper of Greens against Knockers. So
but
that's not going to be broken. But yeah, 17 is
very, very, very low scoring. Very, very low score from SLCC Guardian. I think I expected more, but also I was equally disappointed with Bulls getting folded at 89 and playing the entire 25 overs. So, I mean, yes, credit should be given to SLCC Guardians for restricting them for a total which is not a tall one. 89, I think. When you're playing Detroit Bulls, you would expect some slightly higher scores but like we talked about last year, Bulls is another team like Titans, like Gabaji. They rely on their bowling a lot. They want to put up a modest total, but most times than not, they will be able to defend it. And this was another case of that, where it was a modest total, but then their bowling did the work. I mean, you look at the margin of score, it looks like a huge win. But if you look at the batting, I mean, I'm sure even Bulls will talk about like they would have wanted more, pretty high score, like around the 110s to be more satisfied. KK, I go to you.
Well, I think the biggest mistake of this game was Guardians won the toss and put in Bulls to bat. Well, that was a mistake because there was rain overnight, and I thought it's better to bat whenever it rains the previous night, because the ball comes on slow. You have more time to adjust to the crease, and then as the time progresses, you can score runs. But I think Guardians had a different approach. But I think they bowled decent to get restrict them to 89, to be honest, because in Founders, we have seen that there is another game which we'll get to, the showcase game of the week, where the scores were 7-8 runs per over. But with their bowling, I think Guardians did well. But then what unfolded after that was just disaster. 7 zeros and 3 1s in that scorecard.
I'm sure they must have omelets after that.
7 zeros and 3 1s. I think any captain would not want to look at that scorecard.
The first 5 are zeros.
Yep. When is the last time we saw first 5 batsmen getting folded for a zero? Not, I think, after we got this online scoring. I've not seen that before. And the first 3 are golden ducks, right?
Wow.
I think 6 wickets for 5 runs or 7 wickets for 5 runs or something like that.
Yep. And one of the Detroit Bulls veteran, Chalapati Kore, he bowls 1.1 overs, 1 for 3. I mean,
So
I think. Mhm.
now Bulls will say that Corey needs to come out of retirement and play every single game. I mean, well, I think part of it, I think we said this last week itself. Gabas, Titans, and Bulls have a similar mindset.
Yep.
They are defensive-minded teams. They are pretty good at defense, but I think their problem only happens when they probably run into a high offense team.
Yep.
Otherwise, that 89 or 90 which they put can win them 90% of the games. They have the bowling to get it done. All they need is take care of business. The only time they have to get out of their comfort zone probably is against the high scoring teams or the high intensity teams, but they're banking on their bowling. Now, when you go out of your comfort zone, all of a sudden 90 might end up being 50 if you go out of your comfort zone. So it's a delicate balance. What would you suggest to Bulls and Titans? Let me ask you that.
I think they need
I mean,
to
for
have,
example, Titans ran into GLCC, right? I mean, that's a high octane team. They have players who can take the game away from you. But it
yep.
wouldn't have mattered if you had put 120 on the board. They still would have taken the game away from you. So do you
Yeah,
I
but I
want
mean,
think
them?
not necessarily, right, with you, not necessarily, right? Because when we are chasing 75 odd runs, you get two boundaries. You say, okay, let's go for the third one. But when you're chasing 120, you'll say, okay, we've got enough. Now let's cut the risk and probably try to rotate for a few overs. So there'll be a lot of change in the way you think when you're chasing 70 or you're chasing 120. Not everyone is as crazy as Hemant Bharadwaj, who tries to hit almost every ball out of the park. So again, 120 is always a tall ask, irrespective of who the opponent is. But what would I do if I'm Titans or Bulls? I know that certain formula is working for my team more often than not. Both of these teams have only lost one game so far in 4 months, close to 4 months or 3 months. So that's working, and they want to just build on top of it. Probably get 10% extra runs because their averages have been 85, 90. Get those 8 to 10 runs additionally, because not every time you will see, the first 2 or 3 overs the batsmen go berserk, right? But yeah,
Yep.
if that's the kind of performance you come across in playoffs, then it's game done.
Yep. I think if I were the Detroit Titans or Bulls, I think generally, I mean, I would say strikers are probably also in the same zone. We've always had more bowling than batting victories. The risk we always fall into, which is what I think Gabaji also had the same thing. If one of the overs doesn't plan out or goes for runs, that's it. I mean, no matter how good your bowlers are, the momentum and the initiative is already lost. So the margin of mistakes is very thin. So I've always advised my team is to basically make sure that we have a good start, because most times they're not. We generally don't play well at the top, which is why we are always kind of playing catch up. So it's okay to go a little slow, but maintain that it so that we can pile up the runs towards the end. We do not have like hard hitters who can cover up the gap towards the end. So it's always required for us to keep the wickets in hand so that we have some cushion. That would be my advice. Focus on the start. All right, let's go to the next game. The Dhairya versus FCC. I think this is a trend which is happening from last two games. FCC has somehow been able to win the games, but albeit with hiccups. This is another game which they should have won very easily. They got Dhairya out for 68 and then made a meal out of it. I mean, 69 for 7. Now, I don't know whether some things are different this year in FCC, but this year's FCC is definitely looking a lot more, lot less confident in their batting, especially. They've been kind of struggling to get past scores. I don't know what's not working, but their batting order. I mean, I don't know if Amit Gowda comes later on in the game towards the end. I've seen Pratik kind of open the batting as well. He's also kind of shuffled. So a lot of changes going on there. So they've struggled. Viju, I'll go with you first if you don't mind.
Yeah, my feeling is that their biggest problem is they lost one guy, and that one guy seems to have made a world of difference. That one guy is sitting on our show and playing for GLCC. I mean,
Yep.
have they lost anybody? I mean, they lost another Gowda to Stars,
They've
right?
actually lost, FCC has lost quite a number of players.
And
Prabhu
explain
is not.
here. It's not
They've lost
just only.
Prabhu. They've lost Prabhu.
Okay.
They've lost Shashank Gowda, who's now playing for Stars. Mine
Okay.
was a 1 year commitment last year to Nishant, so I would not say last because we all knew that I'll be there only for 1 year. Me
Okay.
and Nishant were very clear about that. But the
Okay.
difference is, I think, the mindset.
Okay.
The game was more grounded last year, especially in the batting department. Even though there were no runs coming, the wickets were, they were holding the wickets, and at the end you have wickets and you can actually score those runs. I think that's something which is lacking this year. Bowling wise, I thought they did pretty well even this year, but the batting is where they are lacking. Last year, through the season, their openers were the same. It was at least 80% of the games. It was Satish and Pratik who were opening, but this year you see a lot of changes. One game you have one set of openers, game 2 you have another set, game 3 you have another set. I think that's where at the top, at least in your top 3 or 4, have at least 2 guys who plays their entire season, because there is one change you can consume that, but if you keep on changing, that's a very difficult spot to be in. Because Pratik, he scored 100 runs, right, in 8 games. I'm watching, he's averaging 14. He's doing good there. Teju had very good start to the season, but again 3 zeros in those 7 innings, that did not help, right? And Vinay got starts, Chetan got starts, but that did not convert.
I have one question. Where is their the guy who actually was managing the team, Vamsi, our committee member? Where is he?
Vamsi is currently on a break in India.
Yeah, because I think he was managing the team, and that time I felt like it was at least people were there together, united. I think now.
No, the unity is all there. I keep meeting them. I play with most of these guys in the Mishka team. The unity is all there. I think somehow this year it has not clicked. Then suddenly, you have 1 or 2 bad losses, and
Okay.
there is a lot of pressure. Last year, what happened was we had a game against United Raptors, which we were able to turn it around. We got 5 points there, so there was not much pressure. And after that, it was, you knew that, okay, we've got 5 points, which at the start of the season, you look at those and say, oh, maybe we'll get 0 points in this game. But last year, when you secured that 5 additional points, you have more freedom to express yourself. That's your Agni game where Shashank went hit 5 sixes and 5 balls, or the game against Canton Hurricanes. There we got 130. It was all there was more chance to express ourselves. But this year, when you have 1 or 2 bad losses, and when you are chasing down the targets of 45, 50, and 60 with 7 down, 6 down, it always puts a question mark in your mind. Okay, what about me? If I fail in one more game, maybe I'll not have a spot in the team, right? And yeah, so I think that belief system is what is the change this year compared to last year.
Okay.
Because mentally, it puts a lot of pressure. I've been there this year. As Vijubai mentioned the other day, I scored at an average of 3.33 in 6 games, scoring 20 runs. So mentally, the pressure is there. But at least you have seen that happen before. Okay, there are certain things you have to let go. But for guys who are playing their second or first or third season, it takes a bit of time.
Yep.
Because in DCL, your best players will probably average 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right now, I think FCC is definitely looking at the playoff from the outside. They have 2 games. They have 23 points. So I'm not 23 points. Sorry, they have
a little more than that.
29 points. So if they win both, obviously that makes it, they should be in, at least if not the top 5, at least in the 16th spot. But those 2 games are against GLCC, one against GLCC and one against Sterling Strikers. I'll give them Sterling Strikers, but not sure about GLCC.
But you know what? The game that could have made a difference is the game against Detroit Titans. They were in the driver's seat at one time, chasing 98. I think they were 60 for 2 or 70 for 3. Yeah, 64 for 3. And from there, they lost their last 4 wickets for 0 runs.
KK, I'm sorry. I have to step in and talk for Gaba, my friend. If Gaba was here on the show, you know what you would have said? We had them exactly where we wanted them. And we got them. We wanted them in that position, and we knew we could have finished them off. Okay, that's how Gaba would have answered that question.
I mean, unfortunately, I have to disagree because we don't write a script and come to the game. Okay, yes, to motivate our team, we'll say, okay, I wanted them at 70, I got them at 70, but that's not the story. If it was in your own hands, you would say I would prefer to chase 40, not 70, right? But all being said, yes, Gaba Bhai might have said that. We'll have a banter about it, but yes, let's move on.
All right, let's
You
go
guys
on
already had a banter last week. So
oh, yes. I remember I sent a snippet of the discussion to a few of my friends.
Well, the next game, guys, was an outstanding. Our showcase game of the week lived up to its name.
let me ask you this. Was this the best showcase game of the week this season? In terms of living up to its billing. I mean, can you think of a better showcase game of the week?
I have to go back.
Off the top of your...
No, but
anyway, think about it.
It doesn't.
I mean, yeah, but Parthiv, I think it was an outstanding game. Yep. Outstanding. Both the teams put on a show. I'll let you continue, but
yeah, I mean, I was basically going to say the same thing. It was an outstanding. I mean, when I looked at Canton Hurricane scoring 140, that basically made me believe that yes, my prediction is almost going to be true. But when I started following, how Swarna was taking on the bowling, I mean, his innings unbelievable. Like chasing 140, first of all, is daunting, and then when you are in the top order, that's double the pressure because now you have to basically make sure you lay the foundation, you take the chase. And yes, he was head by Sai Gautam and Gagan Singh, but that dude, along with Chanakya, I mean, the top 4, all the 5 batsmen. I mean, if you look at all the 5, this is a dream for any captain. When your top order is performing in this manner, this is a dream come true, like a scorecard. I don't think, to be honest, yes, this is the showcase game of the week, but to be honest, I don't think I've seen a scorecard this where the top order, everyone has kind of performed. So outstanding. I would say, Red Devils, yes, we were talking about, things that were not working midway through the season. They started well, then they lost a little bit. I think Chanakya mentioned that loss to MI Rangers was a kind of a jolt, but finally, I think they've got their act together. So this was a great win, and the way they won. I mean, if in 19 overs chasing 146, definitely alarm bells for everyone in the playoffs. KK.
Well, what can we say? I think Canton Hurricanes had the perfect finish to the innings because in the last 5 overs they scored 50 runs. Mm-hmm. I thought Hari batted beautifully. He was supported very well by Naz. Naz turned back the clock. 27 in 12 balls, 2 huge sixes, 2 boundaries. He got run out. Maybe he would have had 10 more runs. We don't know. But it was a very good finish, right? You have 5 batsmen scoring into the double digits. This was played in Founders 3, if I'm not wrong. That's a smaller ground, wherein your fence would be your boundary. But nevertheless, it's a great display of batsmanship in this game. If you look at the Red Devils bowling, right, Swarna bowled well and Vivek only bowled 2 overs. I do not know why, because he was only going at 4 runs an over. They had to bring in the 5th bowler, 6th bowler. Gagan went for 33. Sometimes even though you have very good bowlers, you have to say sometimes, stop, guys, you are performing better today. That was missing in this game. But when Red Devils batted, I think they set the tone in the first 2 overs. The second over went for 22 runs. Amit got hit for three huge sixes by Gagan. And then when you have a start like that in 10 overs, they were 92 for 2. Swarna hit 43 in 28, 4 sixes. It was all in all, they hit 10 sixes. 60 runs are gone there. And then I think Chanakya batted well, 24 of 31. That was needed at the time because they got 100 runs. They need 40 runs in next 12 overs. He batted it according to the situation, and Karan Mamidi, he hit 2 sixes. We were playing a T90 game against Karan. The sixes he hit were at least 30-40 feet behind the DSP fence. So he's a very hard hitter. I think they finished the game very well. But hard luck to Canton Hurricanes, but this is a very well-deserved game for Red Devils as well. With this, we can probably say with 90-95% certainty that both these teams will be into the playoffs.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
And before I end, right, I mean, if you want, you can add something else. But after that, I want to add a couple of points regarding two notable performances. We missed it in the previous games.
Yeah, Parthiv, I thought both teams put on a show. If you look at it, Amit 23 in 25 balls. Hari was absolutely fantastic. It was 32 in 39 balls. He was the spokesman on the show last week, and he lived up to his talk. Whatever he talked, he went out and performed with his walk. I think Najit was a great promotion. I thought the moment I saw him come out to bat, I thought that Adarsh had struck the gold mine, because if he gets going, that runs will just flow. And when I saw 140 on the board, like you, Parthiv, I thought, okay, I got my prediction wrong, because nobody in their right mind will say that if you put 140, you're going to lose that game, and that too, forget not lose the game, you won't even get a bonus point. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? So I felt the response by Red Devils is the response what many boxers who get into a ring with Mike Tyson, you can do, feel a lot of punches from in the exercise room or in the training room with other trainers or other punchers with whom you punch. But when you step into the ring with Mike Tyson and you take a punch from Mike Tyson, it's a totally different ball game. It's a totally different level of power. And the next thing you know, one punch and they're on the ground. And this was Mike Tyson kind of punch right from ball one. Look at Gagan, 20 runs in 10 balls. Sai, 28 in 33 balls. And then you have a golden boy. I mean, absolutely the game changer of the week. I think it was a unanimous game changer of the week this week. He is our game changer of the week. 43 in 28 balls. I mean, Chanakya Lokam, 24 in 31 balls. Once I would say Chanakya Lokam was not thinking and planning and doing anything, but rather he was executing. He was in execution mode, not in thinking mode, not in planning mode, not in strategy mode. Chanakya is supposed to be a great strategist, right? So Chanakya, at least on this game day, was executing left, right, and center. Karan 18 in 12 balls. I mean, 146 in 18.5. That is ridiculously good. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than this is probably the best chase of the season. Yep. Probably the best game, showcase game of the season. This in DCL 2023. No one saw it coming. Certainly not Gaba. Gaba is a smart guy, but Gaba didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. Sure, I and Gaba picked Red Devils. And sure, Golden Boy promised Gaba that he will make sure that the two of our predictions will come right. The previous night, the night where Gaba and Jasneet were going, what is that? Tom and Jerry. They were doing a lot of Tom and Jerry on the neighboring field. Gaba got a promise from Swarna saying that I will execute and we will make sure. That is amazing when you can go out and say, I will get the job done, and you go and get the job done. We'll tip our cap to him. But none of us saw it coming. I think 1 over from Amit went for 22 runs. And I felt like this was like Titans bowling to KK and what's that? KK and buddy Tejas, yes. Tejas. And it was 24 runs in that over. This was 22 runs in 1 over. And there, they dictated the game right there, right at the start. But this was absolutely a fantastic cracker of a game. I should say both teams need to walk with their head held high. Obviously, the better team won. But I think I have only one complaint, that these guys did not broadcast the game, because I wanted to see the game so badly, and there was no broadcast. So I ended up watching only whatever game was being broadcast. But I did watch the Strikers game, and I did watch the Hawks game, because those two games were broadcast.
All right. Okay, you wanted to say something?
Oh, you know what, Parthiv? While I have this on this broadcast business, can I put in a word for this thing? And I'll
Yeah.
tell you why you should broadcast your games. And I'll also tell you why you should not broadcast in cricket clubs. Rather, if you can broadcast it on your own channel, broadcast it on your own channel. I'll tell you why. Because, for example, if this game was broadcast, Golden Boy may not realize it right now, but 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, your children wanted to see what you did. Oh, you were a great cricketer, blah, 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 blah. Well, they can go and see it. Maulik Patel, if you want to see, I don't know, he scored 33 runs in 11 balls. We still have it on the Glad's cricket channel. Maulik's son, whenever he grows up and wants to see what Maulik did, he can still go to the Glad's YouTube channel and pull it up. That is the advantage of just putting it in your own channel. You get to see it. Whereas if you put it on cricket clubs, putting it on something is better than not putting in anywhere.
Right.
But what I'm saying is it's going to be lost in the whole bunch of things. I mean, Parthiv, you remember you were an outstanding bowler in your heyday. At that time, you didn't have the same this thing. But today, if your daughter wanted to see how good was my daddy,
Yeah.
you know, I can say how good he was, but
Yep.
seeing it in action, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Honestly, a video would make them think, oh, my dad was that good. I didn't realize he was that good. And so that is why I do think that for our players, at least, Satya asked me about putting it on cricket clubs. I have been adamant with Satya. No, it needs to go on the Glad's this thing, because I want our players to be able to go and look at it. Taif plays a good this thing. Taif has, I don't know, a couple of children, and they want to see how good Taif was. They get to go and see that. They go Hardeep's children can go and see that, because it's all in one place. And that's why we had, Taif wanting to put it on Facebook. And I was adamant with Taif. No, we are not putting it on Facebook, because you put it there and it's gone after some time. You get my point? It might be there for a week, but then it's gone. But once you put it somewhere like in a YouTube, unless Google takes its policies down, it's going to be there forever, And so I would encourage other teams to do it. At least, even if you don't do it, at least do it on cricket clubs. At least other people will get to see it and appreciate you for your this thing. But if you can do it on your own dedicated channel, you will have a lifetime. You may not realize how valuable it is now, but you will realize how valuable it is 30 years from now, when you will not be able to play at the same level what you're playing right now.
Right. I agree.
I had to say, sometimes people do not think. And I think this is where I kind of am one step ahead of everybody. Is
that's honestly, that's one of the reasons why even the committee has pushed for live streaming and provided this platform, so that people who've had issues before or haven't been technically savvy, it's a push of a button in the app itself to start the live streaming. So it's a way to encourage people who haven't done live streaming before to do that. The reason why we advocate using cricket clubs is because that's our way of attracting more sponsors, right? We want to basically ensure that there's one where we can have sponsors and have multiple games streaming across. So, but as you said, one way or the other, live streaming is always good.
Yep, and also with cricket clubs, the advantage which is we have the scrolling scorecard and who is bowling, who's batting, all that. What I personally do is I download my games at the end of the season. If I want, I can just upload it to my channel later, because not everyone has their own private channels, right? At least from DCL committee, we have given them that platform to broadcast their game right from your phone. Just go to that live streaming and do it. Who would like to use it? We encourage them to do that. And at the same time, I need to thank Ravitej Pujari. He has been very helpful to us in getting a good deal for the live streaming this year. And yes, I wanted to talk about two performances. I'll not take much time, because we spoke about SLC Guardians' performance this week, but Ujjwal Reddy from their team took 4 for 13 in 5 overs. That's one thing which I missed out. And also Amit Gowda from FCC has been sensational. It's 5 overs, going for 3 runs and taking 5 wickets. 5 overs, 3 maidens, 27 dots, 3 runs and 5.
Awesome.
I think Alagus takes 6 wickets also. You missed out.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was one
we
last
mentioned we
week.
mentioned
That
that
was I think 2 or 3 weeks back.
But I think that is
Okay.
still the best figures of this year, right?
I'll
Uh,
check that while we continue with our discussion.
Okay.
okay.
I'm just curious from a runs because I thought Raghu Palaniswamy's figures are
Five,
outstanding.
five.
I'm curious about 5 or more wickets and the runs given. That would be a more
I can
accurate
recollect.
picture.
I can recollect one like I think Vikram Sehgal, because I do that performer of the week or top bowler of the week every time
Okay,
on the Facebook. So he has a figures of 5 to 5.
okay,
That's the least.
okay.
But I don't know about Alagu. But Alagu obviously trumps because he has 6 wickets. But
Yeah.
in terms of runs, I think that's the lowest, 5 runs.
If you ask me, that runs should factor in because I can take 6 wicket, and if I have given 70 runs, what's the big deal?
Correct.
You get
Yep.
my point?
I agree.
I mean, people were trying to hit me out of the park, and 6 of their guys or 7 guys got caught at the boundary. Big deal.
Yep. All right. While we are looking at the stats, let's go to the next game. We have quite a few games to cover. So the next game is Raptors versus Sterling Strikers. I think this was a complete domination, just like Raptors had been doing last year. Scoring big runs and getting the opposition out. At the start of the show, we talked about Sterling Strikers not being the same Sterling Strikers with once threatened with Mansab Bhatt and Abbas Ali and Haider Bhatti and all those guys together. They've lost the sheen. They've lost a few players in a hurry, and because of that, the team that shows up is not the same or the same threatening. They've got a few players from Brownstown not being fielding a team, but not the same anymore. Ehsan brothers haven't been able to stitch a good team. They've got performances here and there, but not as a unit. So Raptors, on the other hand, finally would be glad to see some of their old timers coming back. Pradeep Bota in this game, scoring those 44 runs. Kaushik with 41. Pradeep, and the other Pradeep scoring 31 runs. So the batting is finally coming together, which is obviously the strong point of Raptors. And one thing that was really great is finally they've now got Armendra and Kaushik starting to open back. I think that's their best bet, to have both of them there. They've been trying a few combinations, keeping Amar below, and they still have persevered with Kaushik, but Amar has been kind of moving up and down. But here, I think this is the best bet to go into the game. So, all in all, comfortable victory, and Raptors are looking good. Towards the second half of the season, and should be able to, secure their spot easily in the playoffs. Yes, KK.
I
Go
think
with.
Raptors are back to doing what they do, scoring good amount of runs and restricting the opposition to lesser scores because of the pressure they mount, right, due to the high scores. Or, restrict the opposition to lesser scores, try to get them done in like 15, 16 overs. I think this weekend they've done both those. And if there were any doubts that Raptors may or may not make it to playoffs, I think they have put that to rest with this 2 games. Because one game was against Sterling Strikers, the other was against FCC. Both these were the other teams which were competing for that spot.
Yeah, I think both the imports performed, right? Kaushik Chapati and Pradeep performed on this
Already.
game.
Yeah.
Both the
Yeah,
Pradeep performed. Yep.
but I thought Botta played like Bahubali, and Bahubali played like Botta in this game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly what I felt, at least. I think on the bowling front, Abhilash Dandapudi and Sai Manoj, I think they turned into that RRR duo. Wasn't it a duo there? I mean, in that movie RRR,
Yep.
Yes.
the 2 guys, I don't know what their names were, but those guys were doing Herculean things, right? I mean, beating anybody and everybody up. These 2 guys turned into that RRR duo. Everybody else was just watching the great performance from this RRR duo. I think Sterling Strikers lost to Dark Horses, if you ask me, is possibly crushing their playoff hopes, if you ask me, because in the last 3 games, KK and Parthiv, these guys have lost to what? Guardians. They've lost to Raptors. They have lost to Dark Horses. Now, Raptors lost. That's not a bad loss. But when you lose to Guardians and Dark Horses, and forget it, you don't even get one bonus point in these 3 games, total 0 points in
Yep.
3 games. That is crushing. And I think they have some real problems with getting players. I think that is why they are, adding players, dropping players, getting to 26 players, 27 players, and having to send emails to committee and this and that. I think they are, I wouldn't say impacted by it, but they're forced to adopt all those things because they simply are having a problem with getting players, leave alone quality
I
players.
think it.
Mhm.
To be
So
honest,
if you look at the number of games that players played, right?
Yeah.
Hyderabad he only played 5 games. One of those games he hit 72 and crushed dynamites. And then Isaac Alvi is their best player, one of their best players. He only played 4 games. And then Ranveer Singh, the left arm spinner, who moved from JLCC, he only
Yeah.
played 3 games. And when your best players are not available, and when the team is struggling to put even 11 or 12 for one game of the week, they have 2 games this week. And I think in both the games, they just were not able to make it.
and to be honest, I think they lack, uh, a leadership. Yes, Omar is leading, with
Is
Ehsan.
isn't
Ehsan.
Ehsan the captain?
He is on paper. That's like Yogi Bhai on paper. But
Okay.
it's, who's running the show on the field is Omar. And I
Okay.
feel I don't see, like, I've seen them
Can I can,
playing.
can I see how Mohammad Omar looks?
He
Because
was
I've
there.
I've only I've only watched his emails and looked at his abilities as an advocate,
No,
as an
we
attorney
have
par
their
huh?
profile pictures are mandatory, Vijay. You can just go on to that profile, Omer Khan, and
Yeah, no, because you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
have him
yeah,
already there. Where is
yeah.
he?
okay.
He's a very good guy. He came for one of our games for umpiring. He's a good guy.
That's Omar Khan, right? I mean, okay, right there. Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
got it. Yeah,
yeah. So I
I've
think,
seen him before.
yep. So
Okay,
some of these guys, I think they are losing out because of the leadership. I think before this was a couple of years ago. I think it was what, Jawad who was leading them,
yeah,
right? And
he's on the lads roster now.
yes. So that time, I think they were definitely a lot more, together, a lot more leadership. The team was, gelling together. But now, I think with the new leadership, it's not there yet. I mean, hopefully, Umar is get able to kind of get the team together next year and get some more talent. But I think that's one thing that is hurting
But
them.
also, Tala Asad used to really help them out. I don't know how much he's helping them out right now, but he used to be a real source of getting players and
Mhm.
behind the scenes moves. But again, I'm not sure what all is going on there, right? So, but
Yep.
they're in trouble. All that's all I can say. They're in trouble.
I think they're pretty much out. I think they can write it off, pretty much for.
Mathematically, they are alive, Parther.
Yep. Okay, so those were all the Saturday games. Now I think we are moving into the Sunday games, which were the rescheduled games from last weekend. The first one is the Strikers SLCC Legends. Well, we enjoyed a very comfortable victory over SSK, but unfortunately, the game that we actually wanted to win. I mean, obviously, both games we wanted to win. We didn't want to lose the SSK game, but this was a game where if we had won this game, this would have made our playoff chances much, much brighter. I won't say confirmed, but much, much brighter. We did play out of our skins, chasing 123 until Kishore was there. We had a chance. I remember there was last over 20 runs required, and the first ball or the second ball, he hit for a six. That basically gave us hope. But after that, it was too much of an ask. In DCL, scoring 20 runs of the last over is always going to be a tough ask, especially when you have only one wicket in hand. But to be honest, if I have to go back, I think 123 runs which we gave were 20 runs too many. I think we should have restricted them to under 100, especially after we got Ravitej Pujari. He scored a fabulous 50, took the game very initially on with a scuff, and they were nicely like poised to even go beyond like 130, 140 plus. But then towards the end, I think we got the game a little on our side after he went out. But even after that, the total was one, a little on the higher side, which we were derived. I think some of our newer bowlers are still, I would say, great. We've got a couple of really good bowlers. I would say Shreyas and Sujay are outstanding this season. They've been bowling incredibly without our experience, without real experience in DCL, but uh, every now and then they're not supported well. Some of our other bowlers, they are guilty of bowling that one ball which gets whacked. So there isn't a consistent. But hopefully, this is a learning experience for some of these new guys, and we'll get some of these guys much better in rhythm next year. But with this game, I feel what with this loss, it's going to be really really tough. We mathematically it could be the 16th spot that we'll be looking for, but again, we are competing against several other who are in that situation as well. So we'll see how it goes.
Parthiv, you said that after you got Ravitej Pujari, you shouldn't have allowed another 20 runs. If I was watching that game and I thought Ravitej Pujari got out on the last over or the last but one ball, I
No,
thought.
sorry, not Ravi Tej. The other Ravi Tej. Sorry.
Okay, because Ravitej Pujari was an absolutely
Yeah.
dominating beast in this game. All right.
Yeah.
Now, this is the Ravitej Pujari I saw indoors. All right. And this is the Ravitej Pujari I'm afraid of seeing. Because when Gladys plays SLCC Legends, I want Ravitej Pujari to go on a vacation to Alaska or Hawaii or someplace, because this is a guy who can take the game away from you. If he gets going, he scores runs very fast. He doesn't care about what the bowler is bowling. But he has a lot of good shots in his book, and you can see that he built his innings. He waited for the right ball, he hit it, but it was an absolute masterclass from Ravitej Pujari. I mean, he finally showed up and displayed his talent. And
Next
I
2 weeks,
think
he's on vacation with you. I don't know about
he's
you, sir. KK can tell me, but
he's on vacation next 2 weeks. He said, "I am so happy if he's on vacation. Let us not even see him. I don't want to. Let us do puja that Pujari goes on a vacation. All right." Let
You
me
guys
put
have
it
already played them, or are you guys playing them?
No,
we are going to play.
we were supposed to
Oh, okay.
play
You
them
still
on
left to play.
Saturday. Yeah. But you
Then-
know what? We dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet because we had only 8 players. we had only 8 players, and rain came and helped us out. Even though the Belamakunda and company were good enough and kind enough to advance the game to 8 o'clock, it made no difference. Actually, whether it was 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, we only had 8 players. We asked for an 8 a.m. start, thinking that in case, we might be able to get a 9th player or a 10th player, but it didn't matter. We had only 8 players. So we dodged a bullet. I think Prashant for them is a fantastic opening batsman. He does his job very patient, stays there at the wicket. He neutralizes your main bowlers. And I think from strikers, Kishore put in a masterclass. But I have a problem with Kishore coming so low down, because the thing is that, already the asking rate is creeping up. And some of these guys who are going up the order, they're taking their own sweet time, Parthiv. Come on,
Yep,
you guys
I
have
agree.
to, you
That
guys
was
have to up the ante. You can't be putting this entire load on
If you
Kishore.
look at my
These
phone,
guys,
yeah.
these
If you look
guys
at
need to
my phone,
look at
that
them.
was
Huh?
no. If you look at my phone, as I was looking at the scorecard, that was the first thing I said. You cannot have the middle order playing at 20 and 30 or 40% strike rate. That's where all the pressure builds up towards the end. And to your question, why Kishore comes so low, I think he's the only guy to answer that, because he's leading, and he's the only guy who actually decides where he wants to go. But I think his natural tendency, and this is the captain syndrome which occurs to multiple teams, they feel like others, they want to send others up, they want to control the game towards the end. If everyone fails, then I'm there. It's like that kind of syndrome.
once Kapil was in the top performer in the batsman, why is in ninth down?
That is bizarre. I know. I mean, I that is the exact same thing I've been telling them. Like, why do you guys want to shield your best players towards the end? Because I think that the mindset is like, if everyone fails, I'll be there backing up. But it's not the other way around, where let me grab the game by the collar to start with, so that it doesn't go down. I think that's the mindset that we need to inculcate in Kishore and others. Like, that's what I've been telling them. Like, don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to put this loss on Kishore. All right, I'm going to be brutally honest. This loss goes on Kishore. This is his fault. He should have promoted himself up the order. I mean, to hell with making people feel good and bad and blah 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 blah. No, we are here to play a game and we are here to win a game. And when the team loses, everybody's that weekend is spoiled and your season is getting spoiled. You have a critical game. You are the critical player. I would have liked to see him come a little up the order. And these guys who are coming up in that middle order, and they need to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what in the world am I doing? I mean, if I'm scoring a 25 strike rate and 30 strike rate, come on, guys. I mean, you guys can do better than that. If you guys can't do better than that, come lower down the order. Simple as that.
Yep.
Absolutely. I have a different take on it. Identify your 7 best batsmen, and at least 4 of them have to bat in the top 5.
KK, I don't care what your formula is. All I am saying is you can't have a bunch of guys going there and scoring at 25 strike rate and 30 strike rate
Exactly.
and sitting there and occupying the crease.
So what was your formula? Identify your top 7 batsmen.
Out of your 7 top batsmen, at least 4 of them should bat in the top 5. Because if your best batsman cannot soak up the pressure from the opposition bowlers, you can't expect your second-grade batsman to actually, face them.
So you would still keep your other 2 or 3 batsmen behind. That's what you're saying.
If needed, but if things are going good, then go for it. Have your 7 batsmen bat in the top 7.
Then keep it 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10 will be bowlers always.
Exactly. I mean, that's what my understanding is, that in an international, it's 1 to 11 by the way your top batsman comes 1 and your worst batsman comes 11. It's in that priority.
It should be similar. Because here, Kishore is batting at 8, Kapil is batting at 10. That doesn't make sense.
I think that's the mindset. I mean, I don't understand, like, why would you want to keep somebody at the
no, and why is Parag?
Parag is a good opening batsman, right? I mean, he has been historic.
He's
but
no confident.
Okay, whatever. I mean, come on. Form is temporary and class is permanent. Ask him to get his act right and say, go up the order and light a fire under his tail and say that, buddy, you have to go and get the job done. We know you're capable of getting it done. Go and get it done in a crucial game. You have Kapil. I mean, Kapil is coming so low down. I mean, I don't know. I blame, as good as Kishore played, I thought it was a masterclass of an innings. From a batting perspective, I think from a leadership perspective, I give him an F. Take that.
All right. We have our guest, Adithiya, has joined us from Hitmen. Adithiya, if you're listening to us, welcome to the show. Follow us. We still are analyzing some of the games. We'll get to the game next week.
We are still fired up. By the way, Parthiv, I just got a comment. Let me share it. It is a statistic comment. Only 3 teams have successfully chased 100 plus runs this season. All right. We are not talking about previous seasons. This season, out of 200 plus games, Red Devils have chased it twice, both against Hawks and against Canton Hurricanes. FCC Agni and Dark Horses are the other 2 teams who have done it. So
it is difficult. I mean, to successfully chase over 100 is going to be difficult. I think many teams have come close, but successfully chasing is going to be hard.
Let's look at the stats.
Okay.
There were 8 pre-quarters.
He's gone. That's the stat which has been given to me. I just read the stat which has been told that only 2-3 teams have done this.
Yep.
While you look up the stat, let's go to the next game, which is FCC and Raptors. Another one which was FCC in the 60s. This time around, they were batting first, and they got all out at 68. And then Raptors, they made a meal out of it. I mean, I think they took 18.5 overs to score that. And even though, they got the 5 points, but it was a very lethargic game from Raptors. I mean, if you look at the way their premier batsman Armendra played, 21 of 36, that's really slow for him. He generally is almost a run a ball or more. So I guess they were taking it easy. but they lost a few wickets at the top, which was a worry. And again, if you see Sai Manoj is promoted up, Armendra comes one down. I think this is a dangerous thing to do every now and then. I think they should maintain, like I mentioned in the previous game, Amar, if he's opening, I think most times than not, Raptors are winning. So why do you want to change that combination? So all in all, I think Raptors won, but again, not a convincing win. But FCC for sure, like we talked about in the previous game. So I'm not going to hit upon some of the topics, but FCC for sure this year hasn't been the same, which promised so much last year when they reached the semis.
Well, I have only one thing to say in this game. Sujan has bowled 11 wides in this single game, whereas the entire season last year combined, he bowled 10 wides. If you actually go to over by over, the first 6 balls of the game, when Raptors were batting, are all wides.
Wow, I didn't see that stat. That's amazing.
Yep. Last year, he bowled 10 wides across all the games.
Yeah, you don't think of him as a wide bowler,
Yep.
I wonder
He's very articulate with his line and length, right?
Yeah, I wonder what happened in this game. I
Right,
mean,
because
if that 11 wides were not there, that probably could have been a better game, right?
Yes.
I would still say Raptors would have won it. But
Oh, yeah. Raptors still would have won it. I mean, Nuwala batted very well and Kiran batted very well, right? So
I think this was a Kiran show.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Raptors are an enigma. I mean, none of us, all the ingredients are there, right? I mean, all the rich ingredients are there. It's the question is that the dish which they are putting out there is not tickling the palate. Maybe they should borrow a recipe from their own restaurant and create a dish which will tickle our palates. That's the problem with Raptors. I mean, I think
for strikers at least, I think it was good news that FCC lost. So now we require FCC to lose against GLCC, so that our 16th spot. I mean, we are trying to figure out who can possibly.
Are you guys umpiring that game?
What is that?
Are you guys umpiring that game?
No, we are not umpiring that game.
Thank God.
But I'm just saying the FCC, Hawks, and Strikers are in the same zone. We are all looking at 37 being the magic number.
You're missing out the main team. You're missing out Gujarat Lions. I think they'll be the 16th team.
Gujarat Lions is going to be going.
No. Gujarat, there is a reason why we have the showcase game of the week between Hitmen and this team, because this is the most critical game of either team this season.
Yep.
And also, right, I'm still waiting to see how Raptors will figure out their playing 12 and how their middle order looks, how their top order looks in playoffs. Because year after year, there's no problem for Raptors reaching playoffs, right? But when the playoffs start, that's where the real problem starts.
Well, Biju, one more thing I just got reminded. If we do get the 16th spot, again, we'll face the number 1 team, that is Glads.
Don't worry, I have a solution for that. All right? I have already given instructions to Parthiv. This is what makes me different from everybody else. I think about 3 weeks ahead of time. I have already had this conversation with Satya just today as to what our strategy should be going into the Pokeries game and who we should be playing. And there is a reason for that, right? Because we don't mind taking a loss now. Because we are not looking forward to taking the number 1 spot. Because that number 1 spot has not necessarily been to our advantage. 2 times we had this number 1 spot. First time we went out in pre-quarterfinal. Next time we went out in quarterfinal. Big deal, the number 1 spot has done anything for us. It has done squat for us, all right? Squat. So the way I look at it is no pressure. Just go out and play. If we lose, we lose. Big deal.
DCL should go like IPL. The number 1 spot directly qualifies for quarters or something.
Yeah, but they might do that. They might do that next year, right?
And then the new government will decide.
Yeah, but then the new government will change. Who knows? Lingappan might be in the new government.
Oh yeah.
and the new government might say SSK plus 15 other teams.
But those were nice comments, Vijay, because I think it takes a great strategist to give up that number one spot if need be, because if you want your team to advance further, and probably, it all depends on who would be
Yeah.
that 16th team. Do you really want to win or lose or whatever it is, right?
Let me put it this way. We are not going to deliberately trying to lose. No, we will not do that. But would we put out our best unit? No. We are going to look at qualification and all that stuff. We are not going to go out of our way and bend over backwards and say, oh, come and play here. Put all this extra. I already told Satya, take whoever is available, play with that. Simple as that.
Okay, that makes a lot of difference in the predictions now.
And if we can do that, win with that kind of this thing, then your confidence would be sky high, knowing that you didn't have your best unit and still went out and beat another very good unit. That's the way I look at it.
If I'm not wrong, Hardeep won't be playing this game.
Well, Hardeep, his leg was gone. He played Tuesday, he played Wednesday. This game is on Saturday.
Both were finals.
Okay. Well, he has put his availability as questionable. So okay. I haven't bothered to go and ask him, is he available?
He will be there in the ground. It depends on how many people we have at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, but you should know one thing about Hardeep. Hardeep loves playing games. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Nobody in the world can keep him away from playing games.
Oh yeah, we saw it this weekend.
His wife can stand on her head, and still he will come and play the game. So this is who Hardeep is. I mean, the guy couldn't run, and he couldn't do anything. By the way, that reminds me. I mean, he was given a runner in your all important DCL T90. Parthiv, let me ask you this question. You are the skipper. I think who was the skipper? Swarna, is it? Golden Boy. Golden Boy was the skipper. Or I thought Venkat Karan Kulla was the skipper. No,
I mean, again, on paper, Swarna was on the field.
All right. So if Swarna is the skipper, now Swarna allowed the runner. Parthiv, would you allow the runner?
No, I think I wouldn't have allowed the runner, because that is basically going against the rules of the game. It's not about, yes, if Hardeep had got injured during the game, I would have allowed. I've done that.
I mean, well, if he got injured during the game, you don't have a choice. You have to allow the runner. If the DCL rule book says
I mean, even after that, you have a choice.
No, you don't have a choice. The opposing skipper has no choice. If the injury no, go and look at your own rule book. Do you want me to pull up the rule book? I'll pull up the rule book and show it to you. You don't know the rules. I know the rules, even though I'm sitting 10,000 miles away. The DCL rule book says that the DCL Parthiv, let me listen to you. Listen, my friend. The DCL rule book says the runner must be given. Period. End of discussion. All right. You only have a choice on one thing. Who is going to run for him? That's it. The runner has to be given. Go and read the rule book, my friend. I have read the rule book. So, even though I'm not playing,
the runner has to be given. The opposition captain has to agree.
No. Both of you are wrong. Absolutely wrong. The runner has to be given. Please. All right. Okay, let me continue on this thing. So, Parthiv, you have already answered. KK, would you have given the runner?
No.
Satya, would you have given the runner?
No, not when he's
What are you thinking about? Are you the glad skipper?
No. I don't give because he's already getting in with injury.
Yeah, that's my point. My point is, if it happened during the game, it's a different thing. If it is a pre-existing injury, the answer is, if I am the skipper, 100% I will not be the runner. End of discussion. I think that's where Golden Boy made a rookie mistake. Let's put it that way. But anyway, let's move on. I'll pull it up. All right. And
I pulled it up. Yep, I pulled it up. I think you're right. Absolutely, Vijay.
Aha! Mr. KK doesn't know the rule. You don't know the rule. I know the rule. And I am sitting 10,000 miles away. Guys, you guys are on the committee. Come on, guys.
We have too many other things that which are getting.
Yes, Lingappan is sitting. You guys are drinking RUNE. You guys are letting Lingappan sit on your head. That's the problem.
Well, yes, absolutely right. The rule is essentially that if you're injured on the field, it's up to the umpires to
it's not even up to the umpires.
It has to be legitimate injury. It has to be a legitimate injury in the first place.
Yeah,
you can't feign an injury. But
that's true. Yeah. But having said that,
yeah.
What is KK trying to do? He's trying to hang something up, Oh, it says dog, is it?
Yeah.
Puppy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the
Yes,
next
he
game. The next
finished
game
4
was,
more games.
yeah, Stingers versus Marvels. I think we have our guests already come in.
We should probably
Maulik,
skip some of these games.
yeah, I think this
One-sided
was a
games.
very one-sided game. Stingers versus Marvels. Easy game for Stingers. 65 runs win. Outstanding performances by some of their batsmen down the order. So, not much to talk about. Let's move on to the next game.
Fighters.
Yep, Fighters versus Hunkars. Another game where it was a complete whitewash. Hunkars, as we have talked about, we are debating between that and Cover Drive, who's 39 and 38. But another string of low scores. Easy win for Fighters. The good thing is that Fighters got a decent batting outing. They just ran past Hunkars. Sterling Strikers and Dark Horses. Now, this is a game that I think all of us put Sterling Strikers on. And just look at the margin of victory there, guys. Dark Horses, anybody who would not know the history, looking at this scorecard would have imagined like Dark Horses is a really good team. But we all know Dark Horses have struggled in this season. So looking at the way in which they decimated Sterling Strikers is just astonishing. Great performances. Pretty much the scorecard, as you can see, everyone scoring 20s uh, and getting to that score pretty easily in 17.5 overs. Again, as we have talked about for Sterling Strikers, this isn't the Sterling Strikers that we all feared last year when we were talking about playoffs. It is a shadow of Brownstown shadow of Sterling Strikers which used to exist. So all in all, I think Dark Horses would be very happy. They have had two 0-win seasons, and this season they have their second victory, so they'll be very, very, very happy with this. Piju, anything you guys want to add?
No, I only on the Fighters versus Hunkars game. I just wanted to give a shout out to Moon. He scored 31 in 47 balls. I kind of caught my eye. He's always been a very fair guy, and I'll tell you why I call him a fair guy. 2018, Glads were playing. I had a chance to go and look at the comments, and then there were so many people rooting against Glads. Now, Moon too was rooting against Glads. But there were people who were saying, well, the Empire should just give LBW, just give LBW and get the batsman out. And I remember what Moon said there, guys, that's not the way to win a game. And so for me, that's a fair guy. I mean, you can root against another person. I might have an opinion if India plays Australia as to who I'm rooting for. But do I win? Do I want to win by an unfair method? The answer is no. And so that's where I said that he's a fair-minded guy. So I always felt, I always wanted him to do well. And so when this opportunity came, I said, well, it's an opportunity for me to remember something which he did, which he never even knows that I'm even going to talk about it. But I think it talks about the character of a person. And so I just wanted to say that guy is of good character. He's a good player too. And he's playing on the right team. And I think Fighters have a good player. Hunkars, this is the one which I was talking about. The India STD code 045, followed by 000, followed by 3260. That's what the Hunkars did. This is why I want to watch Hunkars versus CDCC. I mean, I personally think CDCC wins. All right. I'm willing to wager on that. And I think CDCC, even though they have 0 points, I still feel that CDCC is a better team. But Hunkars, I asked you, what does a Hunkar mean? And you guys said Hunkar means making war cry or noise or whatever it is. I don't know what noise is coming out of Hunkars. There's a lot of crying going around. That's about all I can say. Everybody is whipping them mercilessly.
Yep.
The last game.
Anyways, I mean, this was a game that Sterling Strikers shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Troy Hawks versus
that too, not even a bonus point. That's what stinks.
Strikers are happy, right?
who?
Strikers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Anybody who's running for a 16 spot, we are just looking out for them. So that's why this showcase game of the week is so very important. Not only so to those two people, but
Okay.
all right. Next game. Let's wrap up this game. Troy Hawks versus MI Rangers. Troy Hawks haven't been to the Troy Hawks of the old, but this is a game that they would welcome a win, and they got it. It was a Sashidhar Raghupati show. 39, and then he got a late contribution from Somasekharam towards the end. It's piled up 94 runs. At one stage, they were not looking too good. I mean, they were 5 of 30, looking at something around the 70 odd mark. But those late order heroics from Somasekharam and uh, our guy Sasidhar, propelled them to 94. Then MI Rangers, another team that has been very disappointing this season. Hasn't been up to, Sandeep hasn't been able to raise the potential, raise the level which is required to reach, uh, the playoffs. And MI Rangers has had a very sorry season this time around. So Troy Hawks, keep marching ahead, whereas MI Rangers, another game that they could have done better.
Well, talking about Somashekaram, right? I think he's very new to this DCL circuit. I am playing alongside him in one of the leagues. He's a great addition to DCL. I mean, I'm looking at his cricket club's profile. There are at least 20 or 23 leagues associated to his name. Not in so many leagues for a single person.
Where is he coming from?
He's based out of Michigan.
23 leagues also tells me that he has been moving a lot in.
Yes,
the
very
United
young.
States.
He's very young.
So he might be there for Hawks now, and then 2 months later he's playing in some other league. You see, so that doesn't necessarily tell me he's a very good player. But what I'm saying is, that tells me this is a man who travels a lot or moves around from city to city. I do not know what kind of a job he has, but that's what it tells me.
If it is something job related, and if Santosh Kaklavar is smart, he has to find a way to keep him in town.
Okay.
Well, he plays a lot of.
Then in that case, maybe he should contact Yogi Bhai.
But in cricket clubs, you can basically create a tournament out of me and you playing together. We can create a tournament, and it'll show up. So stats are not to be believed a lot of times.
All right.
All right. With that, we complete the analysis for the weekend game. We had to hurry up a little bit towards the end. So if you missed out on any of the important stats, please forgive us. But I wanted to highlight our game changer of the week is Swarna Rahul Mritini, our golden boy, as we fondly call him. $25 gift certificate from our sponsor. Please make sure you claim it from Satya before Friday night. Akshay Patra sponsoring our gift certificate. And I did talk to Pradeep Bota. I met him over the weekend, and I did invite him. I told him, we were all looking forward to coming on the show, and he did agree. He said, he'll try to make time. So hopefully in the next few weeks.
That reminds me, we are running out of time. So are we doing this auction bid this year?
Yes. That was a hit. That was a hit last year.
That was a giant hit last year. Are we doing it?
Yeah, and we did it after the season ends. I mean, the regular season ends, right?
We had a week off at that time.
We had a week off. So my suggestion is, we should cancel one of the weekly show and just do that.
Yeah.
Or
maybe do twice.
We'll discuss this offline, and either we cancel the regular show and then and instead do the auction, or you'll have to have 2 shows that week, whichever we can decide. Okay, here comes the great this thing. This is what I wanted to see. So Imtiaz is at 135. You mean to say Gaba is beating Imtiaz? No way Gaba is beating any of those 4 guys.
Well, if these numbers are to be relied on, that's what it shows.
No, I don't. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what. Our numbers are 1 week ahead of them. Remember the very first week? We have started from week 1. These guys, lost
It
because
was
Satya came
only
up with
4-5 games difference with you. It was rained out most of the games first week.
Oh,
okay,
so
but we have the advantage of that. So you have
Yes.
to adjust for. You have to compare apples with apples. If they are predicting only, let's say, 150 games, and we are predicting 160 games, I don't think it is.
yeah,
It's a fair comparison.
let's give all of them the 4 games, as if they predicted right, so that it's fair. So that
Well,
then we,
I don't think it is 4 games. I think it's more than 4 games. I do not know, but
yeah,
anyway,
whatever the number is.
somebody has to go and look at it as to how many games we are talking about.
Okay, so at least from what we know from our analyst, Gabaji is still leading the minor lead of 1 point, followed by KK, followed by me, then Viju. So the margin is still only 1 game. So it's all about one
Yeah,
week.
this is a dog race right now.
Yes.
I'm just one behind you, Parthiv.
So what's the? I know last time we said we were going to continue this into playoffs. Are we going to continue into playoffs? Predictions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
playoffs.
it's 2 points.
Playoffs. 2 points.
2 point. Okay.
Even for
last
the
time they
normal
were
predictions. For
Well,
all
I know what's going to
viewers,
happen. In the playoff games, Gaba is going to pick his team. We are going to pick against him, and we are going to get through.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting.
okay.
All right, so
KRCC
let's go to our
Miles.
predictions. So let's invite our two guests, guys. If you are listening to us, if you want to do our predictions with us or chime with us, we always welcome. So Aditya, Maulik, if you guys are listening to me, you can turn on your cameras as and help us predict as well. So, all right, KRCC, MCC Miles.
So
Everybody
Gaba
on
is
the
KRCC.
everybody
Everybody
on
is
the
on
champion side.
KRCC. Yeah.
Everybody on the champion side.
Come on.
Well, I
It's
don't
too
know if this is
slow.
a safe strategy or do we actually feel KRCC is going to win like that convincing.
Miles lost to Hawk.
But I think, I mean, to be honest, I think we all know Miles is capable, right?
Yeah, but batting is the strong forte, and KRCC bowling is very strong, right?
All right, where are we next game? Dynamite's GLCC. All right, our fellow community
So,
analysts have all predicted GLCC as well.
yeah, all of us predicted GLCC as well. So,
Well, Vijay, I know he's listening to the show.
Vijay is getting no love. Vijay is getting no love.
Odds are heavily stacked against him. 9-0. Well, you can't
Well,
blame him. GLCC has been playing really
fighter tryouts. So everybody is on fighters.
Everybody on MB's wagon. Well, you should have seen the game this weekend. MB was bowling the final over.
Strikers, cheetahs. Everybody is on G strikers.
Oh,
Must be.
finally, I think this is not many times we've got 5-0.
Raptors, dark horses. But
Was it last week that we all were the exact same?
except for the
Yeah,
showcase.
Except for the showcase game of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Every
You're
other
exactly.
thing was this thing.
I think this is exact. I think this might be another one where we are.
no, there are a couple of games. There is change.
They are okay.
Yeah. SSK. I think everybody is on SSK.
Come on, cover drive. You can do it.
Well, Parthiv, you can pick CDCC.
That's too much, too many odds. But I
Yeah.
would be awesome. That would be awesome if they get their first.
Everybody is on Bulls on these. So
Yep, Detroit Bulls. Everyone.
Agni local boys. There's
Oh yeah, this is the one. I think we all slightly differ. I think I'm with local boys.
Let's see what. Let's see what.
FCC Agni. Okay. What is it? Gaba is on local boys, and KK is on local boys. Parthiv is on local boys. And I am on Agni and Vijay on local.
Local boy. Oh wow.
So,
Man,
and except Vignesh, everybody is on local boys.
It echoes with the sentiment, right? Even among those top 4 predictors, only Vignesh was on FCC Agni, and here only Satya is on FCC.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, a overwhelming majority is on local boys. So even among them, they seem to be following the same pattern.
Dark Titans.
Dark Titans! Oh my God! We have made them Dark Titans.
I like it.
I like this. I am telling you. I think Gaba is driving back from Grand Rapids. Gaba will have a heart attack. Gaba will have a heart attack. Let me tell you that.
No.
I didn't see Gaba. Dark Arthur. I changed only like the second one. I saw D and I changed the second. So.
I think after that drubbing against GLCC, Detroit Titans became the Dark Titans.
I know one.
Oh, I'm sorry. KK is on Spartans.
What?
Oh my God!
No.
Yes, you said Spartans.
When did I say Spartans?
Look at your own prediction. It says Spartans.
Okay,
Yeah,
I would like to change it to Titans.
Oh, please. Come on. Don't do this.
We already did some damage last week. Let's give some love this week.
That is a blunder. If we had to think. You must be a typo or something.
So Thunders. Everybody is Thunders. Except Viju.
Viju's going.
Let me tell you something. Golden Boy and the rest of the Red Devils need to understand the difference between Gaba and me. See, Gaba was on Red Devils last week. All right. And this week, he jumped ship. Gaba is a fair weather friend. I am the true friend, my friends. Red Devils, I am the only true friend you guys have. All right. I am the one who is there on your side. Now, Golden Boy needs to produce a golden performance. And Gagan needs to put in a golden performance and prove me right. Get rid of the Chetan Dushyant. And then you have...
Well, Indians have more than just Chetan. They have many more weapons. So...
Well, I'm counting on Red Devils. I mean, my love from last week is continuing on to this week.
Oh,
I'm doing everything possible to encourage them to go out and get them in.
Okay, so from our analysts, obviously Raghu and Vignesh have to go.
All goes Glads.
Everybody's on Glads.
I want to change it to Pokeris now.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, he already got the insight from me, So, but it is a smart move since you got the insight.
Well, think about it. If Viju himself is not moving it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not moving it, but it's like Raghu.
It's like saying we are not playing for losing. We have to win this game. For me, we have to win the game. So
exactly.
Parthiv, you heard from me that we are going to go out there and give it a fight. But are we going to put our best unit? No. The answer is no. We have a bigger fish to fry there.
Best unit that means maybe someone like Mansab is not available. That's the best. That means the best unit is not there, but everyone else is there.
No, that doesn't mean that. It means more than that, actually. So it is what we are doing is we might be playing underhanded. Let's put it this way: that we're going to play with lesser number of players than 11 players.
Well,
with the intention of qualifying somebody.
So it might be that game where the difference comes. If Glads win, Raghu and Vignesh might be go down, right? Or they may go up. It depends. So.
All right, Hawks, Rising Stars.
Hawks, Rising Stars. Everybody is on Hawks except Vignesh. So.
Wow.
Vignesh is taking some real calculated gambles here. This week he's either going to outright be the leader, or he's going to be outright be lagging behind
I mean,
Imti
he
and
has
company?
nothing to lose. He has to catch up. So
No,
yeah,
he was what? He's in the lead, or is
130,
one? Huh?
one or something, right? You see
He
five or
was
six.
just
It's
hold.
it's 135 first two and 134 second two. So
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
only one behind, right?
one behind. Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
So yeah, there's
yeah.
no
But
need
see,
of taking so many risks.
unlike us, where we can see each other's prediction, Vignesh can't see the other people's predictions, right?
Yep. All right. SLCC
all
Guardians.
SLCC Guardians, and that is
Now we come to the main.
Oh, the hit
Oh,
the
9 versus
showcase.
13.
so there were 22 votes, out of which 9 for Lions in the general votes and 13 for Hitmen.
Okay,
Wow.
and but among the leaders, only Santosh Kadikutla. Well, he has to vote for Hitman because he plays for Hitman.
Yeah, he plays for Hitmen. So,
Yeah, the other three guys are saying Gujarat Lions.
yeah. So as Gaba goes Lions, Parthiv is Lions, KK is Lions.
I want to change.
Yeah, we shouldn't be allowing this kind of changes, Partha. We need some.
Yeah, exactly.
All
We
right.
need some
That
some rules.
Spartan ones I would have given because I think it might have been a typo. But you're changing like 3 predictions already.
I'll blame it on the medication, Barney.
Okay, Hitmen.
All right, Hitman. All right, so he has moved from Lions to Hitman, is it?
Yeah.
So basically, here you have a reverse of what Imti and company are. Those guys are heavily in favor of Gujarat Lions, and here, well, 3-2. But that's
Okay,
as good
we
as the
have
book is.
our guest. You can carry on with them.
Okay. I mean, SGOW should be evenly divided. It has to be 3-2 is as close as it gets.
Yep. And I think the reason why I voted for Lions obviously is, the recent performance, as well as, I think we need Hitman to lose. So it's a straight cut there. All right. Can we have our guests show up? Either do we need to invite them or something in?
No, they can.
Because I see in the chat they're saying, "Can you hear us?"
Yeah, I moved him to speakers now.
All right. Now, guys, you are on mute right now. So if you want to unmute and start your camera, if you're hearing us, yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Hey, now we can see you. Okay, we
They
got
should have
Adithiya, we
been
got
guest
Maulik.
presenters instead of audience. Okay.
Hey guys,
Maulik, we can't see you.
Maulik is in some disco place, is it?
he's in a gym or something.
Wait.
He's still in enjoying that win. So
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Aditya, for joining us. Thank you, Maulik,
I'm
as
joining
always.
from the app.
What is
Hope
that?
that helps. I'm joining from the app quickly, so that will be better.
Okay. All right. Yep. So I know Aditya, it's first time for you, but Maulik has been here. So thank you so much for joining the show. And as you probably know, we
Better
showcase that one game of the week, which we think is going to be a showstopper, a nail biter, and we think the reason why we selected Hitman versus Lions is because obviously you guys are in that same boat. Both teams are kind of one position over the other, and Pool B is really, really tense right now. Outcome of this game is not only crucial for you guys, but it's crucial for us and several other teams as well, because our positions and our where we fall will depend largely on the outcome of this game. So we generally take turns on asking questions. So I request you to be candid as much as possible. Talk to us about the game, what's going on in your minds. Highlight the players this year who have been key performers. We would love to know and highlight those guys, and also talk about your team. How you've come so long. Hitman has been this is the third or fourth season, if I'm not mistaken, right? You guys have have had now a decent run. How has it been over the years? So would love to hear from you as well. And then Gujarat Lions, obviously, you have people who have been in DCL, but this is a fairly new unit. So we'd love to hear from you guys as well, how you guys are faring up. So I'll go first with Aditya. My first question is basically, Hitmen, this is the fourth season. You guys have been always in the, just shy away from playoffs. This year, I think it looks very promising. How do you guys feel going into the next game? Do you guys feel confident that playoff looks, a reality now? We aren't able to hear you if you're. No, not yet. Can you guys hear? No, right? Viju, can you hear him?
I can't hear him.
Okay. Aditya, we can't hear you. Not yet.
You want to go to Maulik and ask the question, and while Aditya,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where is Maulik? Maulik, are you still there? He's on
Maulik
mute.
is also gone.
No, he's
Maulik dropped. Maulik
No,
just joined.
He's there.
He's joining in phone still.
Aditya, your mic is not still working. If you want to maybe rejoin, maybe sometimes that works. Hey Maulik, if you are so you are here, I see. I'm going to ask you the question. Fresh out of your T90 finals, you
can
guys
hear
have-
me?
Yeah, I can. Now we can hear you, but Maulik.
Okay,
fresh
perfect.
fresh out of your T90 win. Gujarat.
Adi already got a suggestion. Adi, untie your hair and try it again. We got some very funny guys in DCL, you see.
All right. Until we start
Until
hearing
he
it.
comes on, you should probably start with Maulik then.
Yeah, Maulik, I'm going to ask
Can
you
you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. All right, Aditya, you go first. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Probably should.
Okay. My question was, this is the third or the fourth season. I'm not very sure of Hitman. I think third season.
Yep.
Yep. So you guys have come a long way, where you started off as a promising team, threatened the playoffs last year. Now, third season, it looks, you are that one step away from playoffs. Talk to us about this journey and whether this year looks promising for a playoff entry. How real are we? How real are we talking about?
At the start of the season, if you say like we have our own destiny in our own hands with 2 games to go, we would have taken it. Looking at the teams in the pool, I didn't expect the new teams like Gujarat Lions to be like so strong. Like we was initially randomized, so we thought it would be easier, but unfortunately, it's turned out like this. But we have done pretty well. We have had some great additions to our team this year. Nice bit of youth that added, and they're pretty explosive players. So that kind of helped us out. And then we have our regular players playing to up to their potential this year. So that's the reason I guess we're here. And last match we chased pretty well. That gives us a lot of confidence going into the next game against Lions. So I think we are very confident on chasing and setting a target.
Nice. All right. And one other question before I move, Maulik, before you talked about the new additions. These guys have, played a different brand of cricket. Is that what we will be expecting even in this game, that you guys will be going out full guns blazing against Lions?
We play on the merit of the ball. It's not like we don't play a conservative brand of cricket. If it's that to be hit, we ask them to hit. Initially, we used to be a bit conservative, a bit scared of like getting out, I would say, but not this year. I think the last year's those indoor tournaments during fall and winter really helped us out in that aspect, and we are playing such an explosive brand of cricket this year. Like, as you can say, we scored like 130, 140, 110, 120
Right.
consistently this year. Yeah.
Yep. I think one of the trends that I've seen across the board is, when you have the introduction of some of these young Bangladeshi talent, suddenly the team starts to look, this young blood. I mean, they have a different brand of cricket, and the likes of Syed and I think Masood or Mahfouz.
Of
I'm
course,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry if I butchered the name, but those guys have been, completely different. Are these guys like young guys who have come in? They haven't played DCL if I'm not wrong, right?
They haven't played DCL, but they do play other leagues in Michigan, in and around Michigan. So yeah, and the other thing is they don't have what do you call this preconceived notion of playing against these players or these teams where it occupies your mind. That
Right.
is a very important thing. But we are all like great friends. They're a lot of fun to play with, and we just keep joking around, while playing. We're not that serious. Like we are serious, but then when our team is batting, we just like chill around, make jokes. It's fun. That's the
Nice.
important thing.
Cool. All right, I'll go to Maulik and then I'll give it to KK or Viju. Maulik, you there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think he can hear us. Maulik, I wanted to ask you, first of all, congratulations for the win, yes, day before the T90. But are you guys off the high now? Now that you've won a tournament, you need to be back to the grind again for DCL.
Yes, sir.
Albeit it's a different side, but this is a very important game for you guys. So, what is the strategy going into this game for you?
Nothing. Just analyzing their best batsmen and their bowlers, and simple cricket. No need to take much pressure, and I think it should be fine. Just play simple cricket. Don't take no pressure. Have fun. Enjoy the game, and nothing is. Gladiator taught us big lesson. Plus, hope so. All the players are available. That's the big challenge. It, People are traveling and other tournaments and type of stuff.
Hmm. So this year we haven't seen Maulik, the best of Maulik Patel. You were the MVP or the best batsman last year. This year, this isn't the same Maulik Patel. What has changed?
Was an MVP last year of Parthiv? I think 2021. I mean
Yeah,
2020.
2021. Sorry. Yep.
The change is taking team on your own shoulder type of stuff. That's what I did that time when I joined a KRCC. He wasn't getting much from other players. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take on my own, and it will help the team. And took it all the way type of stuff. And then we had Oni and went to the final type of stuff, right? But I think that's what I need to start doing it, my friend. Take a
Mhm.
responsibility, play a long game, and then if I score 30, 40, 50 something, definitely will help the team. And then there is something to defend the bowler. Like it's right now is main league lad is on Ronak and my shoulder, right? Especially in the batting unit
Mhm.
and the bowling unit too. Like few key bowlers call off on a certain given day.
Mhm.
It's tough. I'm relying on such a commitment from a lot of players, whoever I got commitment from. But lot tournament plus family plans is really hurting Gujarat Lion here and there because those are key bowlers and key players. And let's see what we can do this Saturday. But yes, of course, the plan is to how we play. We going for kill type of stuff, right?
Yep.
Going to win basically, and Hitman good team for sure. They're doing pretty well the way they're coming so far. So congrats to Adithiya, you're doing good, bro. And we played actually one season together as well. And good fellow basically. It'll be. I heard you guys sledge a lot. You guys doing a lot of sledging. I heard Aditya.
We select our own batsmen, not others.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. I think that's what even strikers team complains. Like we don't need any sledging from the outside. We sledge our own batsmen so much.
It's just good banter amongst ourselves. We don't get involved with other teams.
I see. No, I haven't checked anything yet, like especially a video or anything like that. But I heard from people saying, "Be careful, there's a lot." I'm like,
Hmm.
I never seen Aditya doing anything like that since playing with him, but never know. But
Oh,
Okay.
you might have gotten a wrong impression from our last game, but that was like a one-off thing. But we never usually indulge in sledging of the opposition.
no worry, bro.
All right. One more question before I head it off. Uh, Aditya, two players that you are really studying from the Lions team that you're worried of. Did I
Uh,
take your question, Viju?
sorry, what?
No, it's not that. I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer he's going to give you. I'll tell you his answer even without him giving you the answer.
It's Ranak
You'll,
Patel
you'll,
and
you'll
Maulik
give
Patel.
Maulik Patel. Simple.
Give him the answer.
I mean,
Okay, that was
when you ask a
Hey,
question,
Red Cap, let him give the answer.
no, I mean,
I mean,
well.
looking at the team, that's the two names that strike out.
But
this is like asking, is the moon white or blue?
see,
I mean,
Hey,
green. I mean, come on.
You gotta look
Come
at from
on,
his
man.
eyes.
Huh?
You gotta look from his eye. He might say blue.
No,
His opinion.
moon is not green in color, right?
I
mean,
would
this
say
is a
I would say
ridiculous
Ronak and
question.
Ron. I would say on current form, I would say Ronak and Ronnie.
But you can never rule out Maulik Patel.
On current form, I would
Please.
say.
No.
Anyways,
I mean,
okay.
go and look at the averages. Maulik Patel is still performing.
Yes, but not.
You're not in this world. You're not reading the DCL rule book itself. You're not even reading the stats. The stats tells
He's
that
enjoying all this masala. Trust
Huh?
me, he's enjoying.
Huh?
Partly he's enjoying his best time right now.
He's
Giving
he's
Keisha all the headache.
I'll tell you, Maulik, the problem is drinking too much RUNE. He's drinking too much RUNE. That's his problem.
Well, if you look at Maulik, he has had one good innings in the against Stars. I remember, but apart from that, it's not been that high scoring season for him. But anyways, I'll not take too much time. Basically, I wanted to ask Maulik. Apart from, don't tell me the obvious answers, but tell me what are you worried about from Hitmen?
Nothing to tell you true. I just need early wickets. Make sure my bowler does a job, and that's it. Bowling wise, not very much. It's just basically my and Ronak's shoulder. And we gotta take the team. Me and Ronak gotta take the team all the way with among the other guys playing with them type of stuff. Uh, our biggest job is that. But I have a few guys. They'll take care of the batting part of it as well. And Hitman is not the team where you want to give any. We learned lesson from a lot of other teams that we have been losing, and a good team, right? Poker is Glads, Legends type of stuff. Legend, we are in a good situation, right? But then other member couldn't help us to perform well, and that, like, if you look at the Legend inning, me and Ishan did pretty well, to tell you true. And then if other would have helped us, we would have easily score 100 and something. It would have helped us, right? But against Hitman, their bowling attack is good. They're good from both sides. It's just that matter of the time. Let's see what my bowler can produce. Basically, against like striker, Ophir turned out to be very very good, right? That day, Ronnie turned out to be very very good as well. So I'm looking for good performance from my bowlers, definitely. And I don't know what to predict, to tell you to right now. All I'm thinking is
Well, I
make
can
sure I
tell
have.
you it's evenly split between all the analysts.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm thinking too.
Uh,
Like I think Hitman does have a little slight edge, to tell you true, because the way I'm looking at their scorecards and their performance, to tell you true. But not less. It's just a matter of where me and Ron are clicking that day, and other teammate helping.
Arthur, we didn't do the DCL rankings. So okay, can we see what is our latest ranking? Where does Hitman rank and where does Gujarat Lions rank? Usually we are supposed to go before the predictions into the rankings.
The other
We didn't
thing,
look
I think Hitman has to play Legend too after this, and we have, I think, 2 easy game.
No, I was talking about the primetime ranking. I mean, yeah, the primetime ranking. These guys, I'm not sure where the ranking is, but
I can bring it up. Why don't you guys continue with the next set of questions?
okay. Let me ask Maulik. Let me ask you this question: Glads versus Gujarat Lions. Why were the Gujarat Lions so flat? Every Glads player was telling this. There was no energy. Uh, why were the Gujarat Lions so flat in that game?
I don't know why we should, because can't read the people mind, but I think I wasn't happy with giving a lot of extras. I'm very upset with that when we are bowling. Uh, in our team, most of the extra is given by Sivam, because if his leg and uh, but other than that, I don't see any extra from other guy. But that day, my best bowler were giving no ball and this and that, and I don't want to give that to Adi or Anup or good batsman. If you give them one free hit, that's it. That's what they're looking for. And I don't know what exactly happened. To tell you true, I don't want to talk about that game, but it was totally
Okay.
blundered.
All right. Let me ask you this: what will change from that game to this game? Because my point is, I think one of the things when you were in Glads, I used to insist that Glads have to have a lot of energy. But if you're going into a game where all the marbles are on the line, all right, this is your most critical game of the entire season. I think the winner of this game is going to be walking into the playoffs. The loser of this game will be having to need some help from other people and help themselves, kind of a situation. Let me ask you, what will change from that game to this game? What kind of changes can we expect?
Especially me and Ronak not coming back to back for sure. We're
Okay.
splitting a little bit.
Okay.
And uh, bowling wise, for sure, I have a little better bowling tech than Glad what I had. Hope my call doesn't call off on Friday night. What happened last time, basically. So I
Hope
have
your call.
my
I
bowlers.
didn't. Oh, bowlers don't call off. Okay, I get you.
Yep, and I think my team is pretty pumped up from last win, and it'll be. I think it'll be fine to tell you true, because last game between Gladiator and this game gap within a week or two, what we have played so far in multiple other tournaments, it really boosts up our energy,
Okay.
and that will definitely help.
And with regards to Ronnie, are you going to? You'll have to figure something out, because let me tell you something of my own observation, in the sense that if you gave me Ronnie in his prime, or let's just assume that, all right, let's walk back a few years. He's not the same bowler which he is in his prime, but he's still a very good bowler. But my point is that if Virat Kohli came and played DCL, and if you told me, Viju, you needed two bowlers who can bowl to Virat Kohli, I will not pick Deepak Giriyappa and or any of these other bowlers which you can think of. I'll tell you, give me two bowlers to get Virat Kohli out. One of them would be Ronnie Patel, and the other guy would be uh, strikers Binod Singh. Both of them in their prime, I felt would be my best chance to get Kohli out if Kohli were playing DCL. But that's how highly I rate Ronnie. He's still
I would
But
I would
Ronnie's the guy who took care of the striker very well. It's just the scorecard looks a little bit messed up, which I had to fix it. The way
okay.
striker scored it, but Parthiv knows very well. They
yeah,
plan to
yeah,
not to
that's
give
why I
Ronnie.
was saying I rate Ronnie very high, very very high.
Okay.
But if
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
no.
Go ahead.
So after the other question is, Maulik, you said that wouldn't come back to back, but don't you think that in the Glads game it was the situation which dictated that back to back? Because I know there are a lot of people going out there and criticizing, and I think
It
it's the
was
easiest thing in the
it
world.
was
Uh,
definitely
it-
situated with you, and at the same time, you know, it's always good. People will talk after result, right?
yes,
Coulda, woulda,
hundred
this
percent.
and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, if I would have stay a little bit back, Glad bowling is not the best bowling. I won't lie to tell you. True. When I see the Aditya that day, it wasn't the best bowling. We could have done a little better than that, definitely. And I think if me and Ronak staying till 17, 18 over, I think we would have made big difference, and we would have given a little tough time to Glad. Then it was easy peasy. Dhonit Patel score, which is very, very good. But I used little brain saying, "By let's use a power play." And Glad only have like I think 10. So I'm like only 1% go out or something, and then it work out very well. And we have at least decent score than fumble. And, you know what I'm saying? Like 40 or 50 instead of we did pretty well. And it helped us big time. And those key decision will help us big time on a Hitman game as well.
Okay.
And I'm studying their rosters, their best performance, their best ballers, and see what I can do.
Okay. Having said that, let me move to Adi. Adi, outstanding season with the ball. If you look at it, you're leading Hitman in wickets.
Thank you.
Economy right up there. I think only Iman Kabir is ahead of you in terms of economy. Pretty much you show up for every game. You're the vice captain of the team. Can you introduce us to the new additions in Hitman? I mean, I think you talked about a couple of them, but if you missed somebody out, can you just highlight them? Because this is also an opportunity for you to highlight these critical players. You know, I understand the camaraderie part of it, but some of us may not be knowing. I mean, for example, I know Abdul Malik. He played with us indoor. I think he's a phenomenal bowler, but you know, and also a batsman. So, introduce us to some of them which you might have missed out on.
Well, I think the 3 or 4 main additions this team who have played consistently for us throughout the season would be Iman. He's a fast bowler and a hard hitter low down the order. We call him our small cub or Kuti Puli in Tamil. Then we have Syed Aplu. He is is a good middle order batsman who can play the anchor role and go after the bowling as well if required, depending on the situation. Then we got Mahfouz. He's a very tricky bowler and a good batsman, top order batsman, I would say. And these guys support our existing core, which is Niranjan, Arun, Chetan in the batting department. And then we got some good bowlers in me, Arun, Iman, Hiten, and Chetan.
Okay, my next question is Hitman versus Lions. As I said, all the marbles. I mean, both of you know what's at stake. You don't need to say this. I think it's the most important game of the season, and Pool B has been ridiculously tough. Let me ask you this. I wanted to tell you about the importance of doing your homework, especially when all the marbles are on the line. I have seen Ronak Q Patel bat, what, 10 years, 12 years? He has been playing for Glads. I know pretty much every shot which he plays. But even with that, I can assure you, Adi, before we played Gujarat Lions, I went and looked at whatever video was available of all the latest innings from Ronak Q Patel since he started playing for Gujarat Lions. That's just me doing my homework to see what Ronak Q Patel was doing of late. Because at the end of the day, yes, he's my friend, but at the same time, when we step on the field, you know, I want Satya and Glatz to win. Simple as that. But now my question to you is, do you guys do, what kind of homework do you guys do? Do you guys go and look at some of the other videos, or do you guys go and look at stats? Do you guys, what kind of planning goes in for a new team? Because I'm just curious what kind of thinking goes on, because now this is not, you know, the first time you just missed the playoffs. Okay, you can say it's a new team, but now it's no more a new team. You guys have been in this business for some time. You're playing in a very tough pool. Obviously, every little nuance is going to help you out or hurt you. So tell us what's on the line.
Most of our members don't look at the opposition stats or they just not aware of it. But there are like a few people like myself and 2, 3 others who look at the stats of the opposition we're playing and how they've been doing throughout the season, and then and we inform the others if required about uh, how certain players play. At least when they come on to bat or bowl, for that matter, we tell them that what is their strengths and what do. I've played with Ronak U Patel and Maulik last year in couple of leagues. I forgot, but yeah, I played with them, so I know their strengths and not many weaknesses, I would say. But yeah, so we plan accordingly like that. But as you say, as I told in the beginning, one of the main advantages of having a younger team is we do not know about the reputation of the opposition. So that also acts as a strength for us. Like you back your strengths, and you feel you can do well with your strengths against them, you'll go for it. If not, then we tell them, okay, they do this, they do that, and then that might be helpful. But so far, it has worked out well, and we feel that giving too much information about the opposition has not worked that well, at least in the batting aspect for us in the previous season. So we avoid getting into too much about the opposition this season.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. With all the marbles on the line, is Abdul Malik going to be playing this game?
No, he won't be playing this game.
Okay. So, well, let me
But
ask you.
we got other players who have been playing for the past 5, 6 games and who have been in pretty good form. So we feel confident with the playing 11 we would be fielding.
Okay.
It could be a good game. See.
That's what I was going to get at is other players of consequence going to be playing. Let me ask you: you have 8 batsmen in double digits. This might come as a surprise to many other people, but it's 8 batsmen in double digits. So your batting looks pretty strong, if you ask me, because they're capable of getting the job done. Now the question is on the bowling end. This is where I think last week also on the show I said that Hitmen skipper Arun should probably learn a couple of things from Vinod Ganeshan and Thunderbolts. They use only 5 bowlers. I understand Chetan Venkatesh can be used as a 6th bowler or a 7th bowler. But when you have a guy like Imran Kabir who is leading the bowling stats, when I see him bowl only 3 overs or 4 overs, it doesn't make much sense. So if Arun was here, I would have told him, stop monkeying around with the bowlers. Give the guys who are leading your bowling, give them all your 5 overs, which would be you and Imran and a few others who are getting the job done. And you can look at the stats and it will tell you that. My question is, in this game, are you guys going to at least make that conscious change on the bowling end, wherein you're going to call it to account? If I understand bringing in another bowler if one of your bowlers is struggling, but if they are already performing well, do you really need to try somebody else? Because this is not the game to keep people happy. This is the game to go out and win all the marbles.
Well, we've always considered ourselves a bowling team before the season. Our batting's done pretty well this year, but we have 7 good bowlers, and we give like the bowlers the due, and then maybe the first over you'd say they might take some time getting into the groove, and that might be expensive. But once they get into the second over, if some of them have a half day, then we go to the next best bowler and keep going on like that. But we have 7 good bowlers, and that's the reason why you see so many people bowling from our team. And we literally are barring 2, 3 people, all of us bowl, and we are pretty good at it. And the other reason is we have identified certain roles for certain bowlers. Like some people like to bowl with the old ball, some people with the new, some people for the depth, and that's why some may have not completed the overs and some have completed the overs. It depends on the situation, but we have 7 to 8 bowlers who bowl at different phases in the innings.
Okay. Well, I don't want to change anything for you guys. I mean, I was just asking you a question which I had. I mean, in the sense that from this thing, I wanted to stop my questions, especially with the amount of time which is going on. But I know KK still hasn't asked his questions. So I wanted to wish Hitmen the very best and Maulik Patel and Gujarat Lions the very best. Go on and put on a show for us, like Canton Hurricanes and Red Devils They put on a show. Yep, they put on a show last week. Hope to see. Do you guys? I think Maulik anyway broadcasts the game, so I think we are covered on that one.
I have a question regarding that. I think asked in the captain's group before. Like, do you guys have any specific ways that you stream in Quick Clubs? Because we seem to have a lot of problems with it, so we just went for offline.
I'll show you, Adi.
All right.
Just remind me, okay, when we do.
Yeah.
Adi, I think YouTube video was started by me only in DCL, right? Which we started first time.
Yeah. Maulik is the expert. If Maulik can't teach you, nobody else in DCL can
Crick
teach
Club,
you.
I didn't know much, but streaming I had it because somehow I have 130K subscriber on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm
Well,
telling. I mean,
We
Maulik
just
is the
like we
Maulik
started.
is the first person. I'll give him the credit for that. He's the first person who introduced live streaming. This was
Against
even
No,
iPhone.
before Crick Club
that,
existed.
that was us. That was us.
No, that
No,
was
no,
not
no,
you.
Bardev.
Bardev, you guys copied from us.
Yes,
You guys
yes,
copied from
that app.
us. Ha!
I
Go
will
and
have
ask.
to. I will have to check Kapil. I actually
Yes,
have
please go and check with Kapil, because Kapil went and asked Maulik how to do this, and Maulik showed him, and then Maulik, after that first two or things, we were getting too much distracted, and then I told Maulik to stop the streaming. But you guys continued the streaming.
There
But
was
you
one
guys
app.
learned.
There was
Yeah.
one app was helping to stream on a YouTube from that
Yeah.
app type of stuff.
Right.
We used it that time, long time back.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
Okay.
a lot of people cannot just do live streaming on YouTube unless you have certain amount of subscribers, as far as I know.
Yeah,
But I
YouTube
think that
now-
has changed. I think that has changed, Maulik. I think I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay.
what the latest this thing is.
there is
But
a workaround.
before you needed 1,000 subscribers or something, but now you don't.
All right.
Oh.
Let's
Okay.
let's continue. KK, your set of questions.
Yep. Before I get into the questions, Aditya, just look for that message which Sanjay sent, because I sent him a recording on how to do live streaming from your phone on Crick Clubs. So just look for that video and you should be able to find it. If not, shoot me a text and send it.
Thanks.
All right. Now coming to questions. First of all, congratulations. You're on 33 points. Some of the wins have been sensational. You win against Pokeries, or you win against local boys after you were here last time. I mean, I think from Hitmen it was it Arun the last time who was here?
Yeah, it was Arun, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, congrats on those wins. This year you're in a better position than last year, because last year the last few games were all mandatory wins, right? That is what was required. But yeah, this year you're doing so good. You've added some great additions, but if you have to pick one addition among all those new additions and say, hey, this is my best addition of the year, who would that player be?
I mean, it's difficult to pick one addition, but I would have to say Syed Aplu, because he has transformed our batting unit. Like from scoring, thinking of a score of around 100 to be a good score, now we go to the next level, like 120 and 130. That gives a huge cushion to us as a bowling unit, and he has changed the approach of the rest of the batsmen as well. He has given them freedom to go after the bowling when the opportunity presents there itself. So I would say Syed Aplu, because we feel that we are on a very good bowling unit. We have very good bowlers, but in batting, we needed support like for Niranjan, Arun, and Chetan, who are our core batting middle order. We needed support, and in terms of that, Aplu has provided that. And he has led the batting charge. I also feel that, yeah.
All right, great answer. My next question is, say you get to playoffs and every single player is available and you can only pick 12 players, right?
Yeah.
So for this game, out of those 12 players, do you have at least 10 of them?
See, all throughout the season, apart from I think the previous game, we had to like scramble around to get 12 players, get the playing 12 for every game. So
All the games.
I never make the assumption that we will have more than 12. So whoever is the 12, we just go with that.
So in other words, you don't have your best playing 12
No,
or best playing 10.
no, we don't.
All right, that answers the second question. And the third question, what changed from the previous 2 years to this year?
I would say in the previous years when we would be batting, we would be stay there would be our slogan. Now it is just go after the bowling. I think against local boys, we took the batting first way after in the fourth over when we were batting first. So that is like England's baseball approach.
Yeah.
I mean, so that is one huge change in the way we go about ourselves in terms of batting. Like we try to be aggressive, we try to score runs quickly, and we respect the good balls, of course. But going after the bowling and having an aggressive approach is the difference between the previous 2 seasons and this year, I feel.
All right. Last year, you had the services of Philip Thomas, a very good friend of Vijubai, me, a very nice person. But this year, he moved to a different team. Is there a reason why?
Uh, I am not sure about that part. We always want him to play with us. He's like a mentor of the team. He guides the other bowlers, and he is one of the people who Viju was telling about, like talking, giving information about the opposition, what they do, what sort of deliveries to bowl. He used to be doing that role in all the games last year. We miss him, but we hope he does well with Guardians. But I guess that's Philip. He always tries to, like, switch with teams after 3-4 years. That's the pattern, I guess.
Okay, all right. But thank you. Your most of your answers were straightforward. Really appreciate that, Adi, and I wish you all the best. I will now move on to Maulik. There are some real questions coming your way, Maulik.
What do you mean by real?
Yep. Maulik, last time you were on the show, you said that you need a proper batsman on the team, and bowling, anyone can do that bowling. Are you still having the same belief system that anyone can bowl, or are you actually getting real bowlers into the team?
Did I say anyone can bowl?
Yeah, bowling. I think we can manage the bowling, is what you mentioned last time. Or no?
No, I think I said I have a good belief in my bowling. Based on, I mean, I have a good bowler. That's what I said. I had a good bowler, basically. It's not, DCL is always a bowler game. End of the day.
Yeah.
And that was my thought behind that comment. But go ahead.
Okay. And coming to your batting, all right. I pulled up some scorecards so that I wanted to talk to you about. The first thing is in that particular game against Pokeris. All right. I think you were chasing 100 runs, but when you and Ronak got out cheaply for single digits, I think the game is done and dusted there. Right. So since then until now, what action have you taken to correct it? And I'll also read one other scorecard. Right, when you were batting first against Cover Drive Cricket Club, your team was at 42 for 8, and if not for Vish Patel's amazing innings that day, scoring 35 or 40 balls, the team would have bundled under 55-60, and that's the batting performance against a new team. And for any captain, when you see such performances, it's a big headache. You personally, how are you trying to address these situations?
I got to stay longer, KK. That's it. Doesn't matter what it takes. That's it. I got to stand up. I got to the best. I got to give 500%, not no 100%, and that's what I need to do. And that's my goal, my friend.
What's plan B?
There is no plan B. Plan A. That's it.
That's it. All right, and congratulations first of all for winning that.
Okay.
KK, I think the thing here is, if you get Maulik Patel and Ronak Q Patel out, I think Gujarat Lions have a real problem. I mean, sometimes you have to tell that there is a white elephant in the room. If there is a white elephant in the room, there is a white elephant in the room. All right. I mean, I think he's right in saying that there is no plan B, because those two guys have to deliver.
We and by knowing myself and Ronak, we are known for to deliver in such a situation most of the time. And the way the past few years, especially for myself, well, Ronak has been consistent for sure, right? But for myself, since I'm doing good from past few years, myself should be, as a leader, I do need to stand up and do it for my team.
That's very nice, but does that put additional pressure on you?
Definitely, pressure is always there. But I mean, playing with the Glare, any other team, and Maulik Patel, wherever I've been playing, it's not like I never qualify for playoff. There's not single tournament that I play that Maulik Patel have not qualified for playoff. All the all the games are good game. So yes, especially see this year we put our team first time in DCL,
Mhm.
and we are almost batting for playoff. We almost there. Not saying we qualify, but we almost there. We have good chances, and it, I it's something to be proud of. Right? I mean, we've been playing for Glare for a long time. The longest team I played, I mean, longest like year that I played was Gladiator. Right? That was
Mhm.
our team type of stuff. And Viju had a tough time that time to qualify for a playoff, and then we made it happen. We do a lot of work. It wasn't just as Viju you see right now and before, in none or less Viju. We put blood on that. We were doing a lot of things behind the thing, and especially Viju were working very very hard. I won't lie. He was the main guy behind the Gladiator for sure, but at the same time, support was necessary. Which me, Ronnie, Ronak, we were always
Mhm.
we going crazy in anything. We go restaurant, we will manipulate some situation to meet to like that time I didn't have wife, but Ronak you has and Ronnie a wife, right? But we will find a way to meet, and always we talk about is cricket, that's it. So our wife he was mad,
Mhm.
but we work pretty hard for it, and it's be something Gujarat Lions should be proud of it, where it's just me and Ronak. Ishan is there, Ron is there, Dhonit is there, Vishal is there. They're all standing up. We're doing such a good. I mean, yes, things happen here and there, but putting team first time and getting to this level where we are, it's not bad. Just imagine having similar time with Gujarat Lion. Give 10 year, 12 year to Gujarat Lion. It'll be somewhere else for sure, right?
Yep. And as you rightly mentioned and pointed out, it's something which a lot of our spectators need to listen. It is because of the hard work that folks such as Viju or Venkat Vadnala or Azim Sayed or Hari Parankusham, the number of hours they spend, and of course with the help of their key players, right, behind the closed doors, they work for many hours. Probably for a 4 hour game, they work for 10 to 12 hours discussing what needs to be done, what do we do to build the team. And the results are only
Even,
because of that hard work and dedication.
even till sorry, Kike, but even till today, when we have a DCL game, for some reason we don't sleep. We 8 o'clock to go to game. That's how we are. That tells you that how serious we are in the business, and all that thing happen with KRCC in DPL, this and that. We are in a serious game. If we can take little advantage of you, we can do so. Man, we there. We you can't fool this Maulik Patel, man. Come on.
Maulik Patel, I got to ask you this question, man. I got to ask you this question
Go ahead.
while you're
Go
how in
ahead.
how in the world, what buttering did you do on your who's this golden boy?
Who's
How did
golden?
you do? How did you manage to get
Who's my
Hardeep a
golden
runner?
boy?
Huh? How did you
So
manage to get a
so
runner on gold?
no, I tell you exactly with you. I tell you how exactly I did it. We
Okay,
played. So first of all, in Michigan Cup, we played against team called Mustang. Mustang have Kaushik, Rahul, Amar, Nauprit, such a player. We scored 143. They chased it till last over. But that inning, umpire give me an LBW. Kaushik
okay,
was leading the team, but literally my bat was there and hit my bat. Everybody can hit here the edge, and opponent did not even appeal much. Umpire give LBW. So I requested Kaushik. Kaushik, I'm like, man, you see it, Brahma, you see it. It's not. It's literally my bad, man. Come on. Kaushik give me saying, no, you know what, man? Reverse the decision. He's not out. And and me and Ruchit were killing them. We were doing such a good. Still, he did that, right? Now, next game happened again. We were playing them in a league game last week. He come with the 9 players, and he requests Maulik, can you please wait? Can I play with 9 players? Can we please wait 15 minutes? And I agree with it because that's our relationship between me, Brahma, Kausik, we understand each other, and we're not trying to take advantage of each other. We try to play fair game, and result could be any side, right? So it's just a respect among we have with each other. And then since I did that for them, even Rahul Chen, I went and asked him, Rahul Chen, Hardeep, really want to play this game? First of all, I did not really. I told Hardeep, I'm like, Hardeep, I don't think so. This is for long run, bro. I understand you really want to play this game, but I do have enough player. I mean, you good. Don't worry about it. Let's your safety is first important. I understand you really want to play. We know the Hardeep Patel where he'll do anything to play the game, right? Type of stuff. And he's really injured, to tell you true. And I told him, even the day of the game, my plan was to not to play him. But then he's like, no, Maulik, I don't want to play, and I can do it. And my other fellow like, man, if you want to play it, yes, we would like to go with Hardeep Singh. I was about to call Hardeep Patel. But anyway, then I asked Rahul, I'm like, Rahul, I need your help. I need a runner-up for Hardeep, and Hardeep likes to play, and this is the situation. And we weren't making up anything. It was legitimate injury. And Rahul allowed it. And I think Rahul allowed it because he knows me very well, and I knows Rahul very well too. And we're not trying to,
It's like-
try
Yeah,
each other. It's like, it's like, I mean, I don't know if you would allow with you, but it's like a friendship type of stuff.
I
like-
already answered the question. I asked Parthiv this question whether he would allow. The answer was no. I asked KK if he would allow. The answer was no.
So this,
I
but,
asked.
but this
but see, this is
question was asked way earlier before I released my playing 11 or before I toss. I'm like, hey, are you gonna allow this guy? If not, that's fine. I would pick somebody else. And he said, Maulik bhai, I will allow it. I have no problem. And that's how
Anyways,
we went
the
to
thing is, I think to answer that question, I think this is something which if you guys have read the latest what is happening in the Ashes, Kevin Peterson was talking about it, the same thing. Ashes has lost its edge. The rivalry, the bitterness which was fought between the Australia and England is because these guys played so often together in IPL and CPL and MPL and whatever. Now they are smiling with each other. They're having dinners with each other. They're having drinks with each other, and then that rivalry is lost. I think that is the answer to this. Why?
Simple, Parthiv, I played a corporate cup or
No, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's the reason.
yeah, no, you're right. But as I said,
Yeah.
I played corporate cup few days back, right? I think Wednesday or I think Monday morning I played a corporate cup.
Right.
And did pretty well in the batting, a little bit well. I could have done better, but he hit me age, and I walk away because Chanakya, Kausik is there, Rahul is there. Man, it was clear age, and umpire didn't give me out, but I still walk away, which I don't do much. To tell you true, I won't lie, but I have a respect for this guy.
No. I think that was a comment made in the one of the WhatsApp groups. Yep.
It was respect for each other, type of stuff.
All right.
And again, I thank to Rahul for doing that.
Yeah.
People do.
Okay, I know we are up on time. It's almost getting to 3 hours. I don't want to keep everyone.
One more question.
You see how was the catch, Parthiv?
What is
Don't play around.
that?
One more question.
It's always fun when we have a lot more details and banter with you guys. So thank you again for joining us. Hopefully, this game lives up, as we said, to the potential, and we have a cracker. And we will definitely be watching this game live. So best of luck for both the teams, and do well and keep up the good work.
I think Eke has a question.
Yes, I said there's one more question before Parthiv goes.
Oh my God!
First of all, I need to congratulate you for winning the first inaugural Detroit Premier League,
Okay.
T90. Right? You mentioned that your team is on a high, right? Winning all these different tournaments and playing together. So my question is, in all these different tournaments, you have the likes of, say, Hardeep Singh, Akash Patel, or Mahesh Burlu, who come into the team and, suddenly, even if you look on paper, the team looks very strong. Or Gopal Patel, likes of such star players from each teams. But suddenly, when you come to DCL, this is your first year, you've done considerably well. because only Bridges and Hawks have made it to playoffs in their first season. You're on the brink of it, doing that great feat. But now, if you suddenly look back and say your top two batsmen are dismissed, and suddenly look back, who is the next player you look up to who would give that confidence to the rest of the guys and say, "Hey, I'm still here. Don't worry." Who would be that next best player?
I have a Ishan Patel for sure.
Mhm.
Ishan is the best guy to look after. He's in very good form. Ishan is there, and I have somebody from named Sivam Nilkant from Canada. They're pretty good player. There, I also have Dhoni Patel is there. So they are still there. I have Vishal Patel, right? Who wasn't doing much well in other previous years, but I'm working my best to, get him performed type of stuff. Play according to situation. Don't just hit every ball, this and that. And they are the one who is my key player. And he'll see this is the first year,
Yep.
but it will definitely they are my go-to guy when I really need them type of stuff, and
Okay.
I'm working pretty hard for it, and I'm sure they will next game. I think Ishan Patel, Dhoni, and Vishal and Tarun Bhai especially my opener, man, he's more than 50 and something, right? But these guys are great talent.
Okay, so
If I
next
can
year,
ask you when you want to begin.
What was that?
I was
No,
going
go
to
ahead, Padre.
I was going to ask you. So next year, does Satya, Prashant Patel, and others have to be worried of who's going to be poached?
You should be worried. If you are a leader, you better be
Is
worried.
is,
Not
is,
worried, then
Gopal Patel already on his way? I mean,
Gopal Patel.
I feel he's a low hanging fruit. I think you can easily get him. Straight question.
If it was that easy, I would get him this year only, Parthiv. Nothing is easy. You have to work for everything.
Okay, so you are working.
As we
All
just
right.
say, Maulik Patel know how to butter.
Let me put Parthiv on the line here. Parthiv has given up strikers captaincy in the T90 final. You have claimed that he is a Gujo. Okay, now are you going to get Parthiv
He
to
already
Gujarat Lions
knows
next year?
I'm already a backer.
Only person who I can really want to get from Parthi team is Raj Patel. That's it.
Raj Patel, okay, huh? So I have to be also careful, huh?
I already asked.
No, Parthiv, you didn't hear his answer properly. He said the only person I want from Parthiv is Raj Patel. That's what he said.
That's why I have to be careful of my players as well. Like
My question to Maulik was, are you going to poach Parthiv Mehta from strikers?
If he wants Braj, then he has to get me also. Liability. He has to get.
Well, it was great chatting with you again, Maulik.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
And
Adi,
Adithiya as
great
well. Put up a show.
chatting with you. Put up a show.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All the best, Maulik. All the best, Adi.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye.